Thank you very much to all of you for being with us today for this important webinar on film tourism. Film tourism is a growing phenomenon worldwide, fueled by both the growth of entertainment industry and the increase in domestic and international travel. Films, television series, or web series act as a motivational and image-making tool and the attractiveness of tourism destinations. Film tourism has a scope to generate $3 billion in India, as there is a potential for up to 1 million film tourists to visit the country. However, to achieve this potential, there is an urgent need to simplify, incentive, and promote this segment. Therefore, Knowledge Chamber of Commerce and Industry organizing this digital focus summit on entertainment and film tourism with support of Gujarat Tourism and our other well-wishers, including ITO, Abhyuday Group, Graceland Studio, and Idea to Execution. Now I request Ms. Purvi to tell something about our moderators. Purvi.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nakul, for giving me this honor. Post-globalization, we have seen that there is a lot of evolvement in film and tourism industry. It contributes a lot also to the GDP and destination economy. And I think we should support this kind of event and we should come forth with a lot of recommendation and solutions regarding the same. Now, if I introduce our moderators for this session is Mr. Umesh Dikshit. He is a person who is into a lot of activities. He has a lot of feathers to add to his cap. Now, to introduce him, Mr. Umesh Dikshit. Umesh Dikshit is a highly, say, PR professional. He will also be able to contribute a lot since he is also into he is also into drama. He is also into, say, making of lot many advertisements and all. He's also into HR management. He's a purely professional guy. And we are honored to have him as one of our moderators. And I hope he will make the session very interactive. The second moderator for the session is Mr. Ramkumar Sheshu. He is a person which has been, very well recognized all over India. And with his passion on ad films and on advertisement and all and nuances of successes, he has also wrote the book on Born to Win. He's also business mentor, and I hope he will be able to guide us and make the session very interactive and live. Thank you very much. Now I would like to request Unmesh Bhai to please take over. Unmesh Bhai, are you there?
Thank you very much, KCCI and Nakul Purviji for taking this initiative for the support and motivation for the film industry, which is like an industry which only belongs to our Dil. This is a Dil se industry, I would say. Anybody across the globe, anybody across the earth would always love to see the film, to be the part of the film in many ways. And this is a time where we have not seen films in the theaters. So let us pray God that the things are settled down right now and should be settled down much more in the best of the way. And we go to the theaters and see the film. And that is how the entertainment and film tourism will grow, prosper, and will flourish across the globe. Yes, there are platforms of OTT, there are platforms on channels. At the same time, these platforms have given a ray of hope during this time where we have been entertained by different platforms. At the same time, we get involved with it. So being with all the stalwarts, I welcome you all once again as moderator. I'm Umesh Dikshit. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here amongst all the stalwarts. Let me first introduce Mr. Bharat Patel. He is an honorary Secretary General of Knowledge Chamber of Commerce and Industry, combining his leadership skills with the technical knowledge and development of the country and organization. As a business leader, he presides over several business organizations. As a business leader, he coordinates amongst various verticals of his companies. With his formal engineering degree of electronics and communication from Gujarat University, he also has been persuaded the Baba Atomic Research Center and many more things which he has covered with the government of Gujarat and many other governments. E-governance and agriculture is also his passion and subject to work with. More than 3 decades of ambitious, goal-oriented, or energetic and highly skilled information technology leadership, he brings himself as an ambassador of change, a keen strategist with expertise in providing effective business solutions and the development of tourism and hospitality sector at large. And he brings here today all of us together because of him and because of KCCI. We all are here today. So let us welcome Shri Bharat Patel, Honorary Secretary General for Knowledge Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to start this event and give us a welcome address.
Umeshi, thank you so much. Namaskar and good morning to one and all. I'm so thrilled by the elaborated introduction given to me. I think I don't deserve all that, but I'm so pleased that we have the gathering of such luminaries from this industry, and I think this particular goal that we need to achieve about the sustainability is something which has really brought this subject, and Nakul and the entire team has really been working very hard on this. So I think we'll be able to make the best of the session during this day. And I feel delighted to be a part into the whole virtual event of the film tourism destination marketing for the sustainable development. First of all, it is a great honor to have Vikramjit Singh here. Like he's been, he doesn't need actually an introduction amongst the fraternity, but the National Film Development Corporation, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India, he's been a phenomenal person, or a very instrumental person as far as the entire industry goes. Mr. Roy's gracious presence has also made this webinar, very, very auspicious and promising for all the people who are going to be here. I also welcome Mr. Rajiv Mehra, the National President of IOTA, and Mr. Pranab Sarkar, immediate past President of the IOTA, and the founder destination management company Swagatam Tours. I welcome Ms. Khyati Nayak, the head of the Cinematic Facilitation Cell, Gujarat Tourism, for her presence and support in this particular event. I also welcome all the other supporters, including the IOTA Grace Live Studio. Special thanks to Hyundai, where they provided this platform. And during this pandemic, and I'm sure we got to use this kind of platform and instead of a physical meet. And we just hope that we get clear of all these norms which are related to the COVID, gets cleared as quickly as possible to get back to the regular normal rather than the new normal. I also would like to welcome all the speakers and the dignitaries of the next session, which includes Mr. Himanshu Malik, the Indian film actor, director, screenwriter, producer, and owner of Malik Pictures. Mr. Amit Yadav, the film director, writer, and producer for the Bollywood Celebrity Cricket Club. Ms. Aarti Patel, who is an actress and a film producer. Mrs. Deepa Singh, and Mrs. United Nations winner, for the founder Nipa Singh's production. Shri Pramod Chandrokar, who is the owner of the Sound Ideas Academy. Mr. Mahendra Vakharia, the managing director of the Pathfinder Holidays. Shri Amog Avarsha, JS, Indian filmmakers, wildlife photographer. Shri Mohit Srivastav, chairman of the International Relationship, KCCI, who's been very much instrumental in this seminar. And I would also like our moderators, thank the moderators, because Umesh has been known to us since very long time. So Umesh and Ram Kumar Sheshuji, I would also thank you for this moderating sessions that you're going to take. So on behalf of the entire KCCI, I wish the webinar a great, great success. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Bharat. As always, the ever smiling face and ever energetic and always positive and welcoming person and persona. And I'm sure that KCCI will be growing much more the way it has taken the move under your leadership. Mr. Nakul has been working very hard, and I'm sure you are the best mentor for him to nurture the entire body for the development of entertainment and film tourism. When we speak about tourism, tourism is a wide word, and who doesn't want to travel across, and who doesn't want to go out of home and enjoy his or her time, and which is linked with the film tourism. So here is a virtual platform where we have got combination of many stalwart speakers from the film entertainment side to the traveling and tourism side. So it is my honor and privilege to welcome Sri Rajiv Mehraji, National President of Indian Association of Tour Operators, IATO. He brings graduate, has been a graduate from economics, honors from Delhi University, Hansraj College. Rajiv Mehraji is a director of Uday Tours and Travels, New Delhi. He has 44 years of vast experience in the tourism industry. He did his schooling from St. Columbus, New Delhi. He joined the tourism industry in way back 1997 and later set up his own company, Uday Tours and Travels. He is currently the president of Indian Association of Tours Operators. Prior of being elected as president, he was the vice president of IATO. He has been associated with IATO for last 26 years and was especially contributing IATO annual conventions in a big way. He has extensively traveled and has visited over 30 countries of the world, and films and entertainment is in his heart, and he wants to coordinate, he wants to combine entertainment, film, and tourism together. So we bring you, my dear audience, very much thankful to you for joining over here. The audience would be glad to know, learn, and get inspired from Shri Rajiv Maharaj. So we present you Rajiv Maharaj.
Thank you, Mr. Dixit. Thank you very much. Dear Nakulji, members of KCCI, esteemed panelists, members of the industry, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Well, the topic today is entertainment. I hope I'm audible. Okay. The topic today is in entertainment and film tourism, destination marketing for sustainable development. Now, to start with, there are countries, there are cities in India like Singapore, which came in for tourism after the SARS infection with the movies Krish, Sri Lanka after the IFA Awards, Kashmir after the many films which have been done there, Calcutta after the Howrah Bridge. So there are various cities in India and countries. I can talk about Ladakh for Three Idiots, became very famous. So there are places which have become famous because of the films. So benefits are there. Thus, film tourism not only promotes a destination for excellence, but brings in wake revenue for hotels, transport, and other diverse events managements requirements. It showcases a destination natural and cultural assets, informs, inspires, and influences travel decisions, and help to market and grow local visitors' economies. Film tourism has a scope to generate $3 billion by 2022 in India, and there's a potential for up to 1 million film tourists to visit the country by 2022. Now, what does cinematic tourism contribute in? Basically, it bridges gaps between industry professionals and the government, public state authorities, promote cinematic tourism through conferences, presentations, and industry talks, destination marketing consultations, development and implementation of film-related tourism products, promotion of film location tours, conducting of marketing research with film industry tourists. It also gives local people, the local people value their states more when they see it's unique on silver screen. Multiple economic benefits to local, like shopping done by cast and crew, rent earnings from locations given for shooting. Employment benefits for trained, skilled locals during the shoot. However, to achieve this potential, there is an urgent need to simplify, incentivize, and promote this segment and be aware of its fallout also. There are numerous challenges for the film tourism, ranging from regulatory to procedure. In India, administrative powers are mutually held by state government and central government. Therefore, it becomes really difficult for the film producers to shoot freely according to their preferences. Some authorities ask for the scripts of films before granting permission to shoot, which makes the producers quite difficult for the producers. A major issue that producers face in India is non-availability of a single window clearance facility towards all filming permissions. The state governments must consider setting up of online portals for single window clearance facilities. Promoting film tourism in a destination may lead to concentration of tourists in limited geographical area in the destination. It is not only could cause uneven distribution of tourism money, but could also speed up the product life cycle of exhausting the resources in those areas. Dependency on suppliers, unequal concentration of visitors, ignoring more profitable segments, short-lived brand and image, lack of development in other sectors, lack of proper infrastructures which include non-availability of good roads and poor connectivity to the tourist destinations. So these are some of the points. So accordingly, the decision makers are faced with a challenging task ahead. To achieve the goal, it is imperative that a structured and step-by-step approach is to be followed. So what we need to do is need a film tourism policy for its implementation, a state-level committee to be authorized to resolve the clarifications and explanation disputes, a dedicated film facility cell to be in place. It will act as the nodal agency for film tourism development. This cell will coordinate with the stakeholders for the implementation of film tourism policy, process, determination, and disposal of applications, and also prepare policy suggestions and proposals for regulatory reforms from time to time as per the latest trend of the film industry. An online film web portal to be prepared for one-point entry system and time-bound permission mechanism for filmmakers wishing to shoot film serials or web serials. This portal will act as a platform for information dissemination for film tourism policy. Offline applications will be taken till the web portal is not prepared by the film facilitation cell online. Information related to other facilities and services will also be found on this portal. In each district, the SDM level officer will be authorized as a nodal officer for the implementation of the film tourism policy. Nodal officers will also cooperate and coordinate at the district levels. Then we have development of entertainment industry to promote film tourism. Theme parks and selfie points are to be developed. National and international film festivals and seminars to be organized. Fan tours of leading filmmakers of the country to be catered to. Film shots at filming shooting locations and tourist spots will be developed and promoted as a tourism product. Then there are financial incentives. Example is the Madhya Pradesh government. Under the film tourism policy, the state government has set eligibility criteria of grant for maximum filming of films in the state in any language. A grant of rupees 1 crore or 25% of the total cost of the film, whichever is less for shooting, the first film will be payable. For this, it is necessary to have a minimum 50% shooting days of the total shooting days of the film in Madhya Pradesh. And then on the basis of Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, which has film cities, other places should also have the film city. To conclude, today tourism boards across many countries are targeting Indian films and other audiovisual contents as a medium to showcase their countries as ideal destinations to attract tourists. For India, there is an equal opportunity to promote inbound tourism beyond popular destinations. Indian films and other audiovisual contents can be a greater platform to showcase to the world India's rich cultural heritage, its variety of travel destinations, and diverse cuisines. It even helped marketing products that, well, we can't forget yesteryear's perfumes named Evening in Paris or ladies' hair brand called Love in Tokyo. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak on this. Thank you, Mr. Dixit.
Thank you, Mr. Raju Mehra. Such an inspirational and in-depth message for the India and industry of film entertainment and the travel and tourism, how they can combine together, join together the way they are and have a much more stronger bond in future also post-COVID time, post-pandemic time, we all can be having a new energy and new engagement with both these industries and support the entertainment industry as well as tours and travel industry both together. Such an inspirational words. Thank you very much, Rajiv Miraji, for joining us with us and sparing your valuable time. Thank you very much, all our audience who are with us. And feel free to share the questions if you want to ask anything to Rajiv Mehraji and the speakers also in future. Please keep on sharing in the chat box for your questions. We will be happy to respond to all the questions which you would like to know the details from the speakers. We take our webinar forward. We have one more stalwart with us. She is none other than Ms. Khyati Nayak, head of cinematic facilitation cell, Gujarat Tourism. Gujarat Tourism has been very active in engaging the local films as well as the national Indian, Hindi or any other language films. And Gujarat Tourism is always known for welcoming anybody and everybody to come here, spend some time and be with the Gujarat and take Gujarat forward, India forward, the way this travel and tourism industry or the film and entertainment industry, they have given a shape over here in Gujarat, which is worldwide known, and that many more feathers are there with Khyati ji. Khyati ji is a manager of niche tourism promotions and head of wellness, medical and cinematic facilitation cell with Government of Gujarat. She has more than a decade of experience in tourism industry, especially in the niche tourism. Gujarat Tourism has started a single window system providing end-to-end solution for filmmakers promoting films and tourism. Gujarat state government has also announced the new tourism policy for 2021 and 2025, under which they have covered film tourism extensively. So I'm sure, Rajiv Mehraji, what you wanted, Gujarat Tourism is already offering it, and which will be offered to many more people in the future. And more about Khyati ji, she is providing holistic, ecoistic, and helping people and filmmakers to shoot their films in the state. Gujarat has started an online single window system to give easy and fast permissions for the film shootings. Gujarat state has developed a dedicated portal for cinematic tourism for filming in Gujarati or Hindi or any Indian films or abroad films, which has all the necessary information required by a filmmaker, which is headed by Ms. Khyati. So we are very much grateful and thankful for being with us as Gujarat Tourism, and the head of Cinematic Facilitation Cell, Gujarat Tourism, is Khyati Nayak. We present to you, audience, Ms. Khyati Nayak. She will be giving us her inspirational, insightful speech and sharings about the film and tourism and entertainment industry. We welcome Ms. Khyati Nayak.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you, ma'am. Can we start the video?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you,
Hello.
ma'am. Yes, please.
Audible? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, good morning to everyone and greetings from Gujarat Tourism. And in today's Digital Focus Summit 2021 Entertainment and Film Tourism, I heartily welcome you all, and I also thank you all for giving Gujarat Tourism this opportunity to do online destination marketing specifically for the film tourism. So, and I also congratulate the Knowledge Chamber of Commerce for organizing this digital program today. So to starting with, I would say all of you have seen the video which was um, made by Gujarat Tourism to promote the cinematic tourism in the state. And because the topic of today's session is destination marketing, so I thought without speaking much, I should show you what all great, marvelous, mesmerizing destination Gujarat has got. So that was my small effort to show you the destination digitally, which are located in Gujarat from cinematic perspective. Uh, Friends, my video has spoken a lot about the destination and the varieties of destinations, specifically from cinematic perspective. But if we talk about the government support, so I would like to throw some light on that. And as we know that all state governments are these days doing their great efforts to promote cinematic tourism, and many states have announced their policies also to attract filmmakers from across the globe. And Gujarat is also one of them. And I'm happy to share you that Gujarat was the very first state who won the national award for the most film friendly state, and it was in 2013-14. So since then we have understood the importance of cinematic tourism, and the tourism department under which we have set up a dedicated film facilitation cell, which is actually behind this all promotional support to the filmmakers. And we are working so hard to attract filmmakers, and we always ready to support them so that they can come to Gujarat and they can have hassle-free hassle-free shoot in Gujarat. So as the one of the speakers mentioned that we have announced one tourism policy which is 2025, so which is also dedicated to the tourism sector, but under that we have covered the cinematic segment also, through which we would encourage the investors to come and invest to set up film related infrastructure in our state. And as you all know that Gujarat is very developed and supportive state, and also progressive state, which is always ready to welcome the investors, and the government support, other related things are very easy and smooth to set up your setup here. And if we talk from the filmmaking side, so we have started one dedicated online portal which is under ease of doing business, under which we have created the online permission system, which is end-to-end online, and within 7 working days we issue the permission to the filmmakers. And I would request all of you to visit the Gujarat Tourism's website, and on homepage you will find cinematic tourism tab. That's where we have provided the online application form. So the filmmaker or the interested party, they can log on to that portal and fill up online application, and within 7 working days they'll be issued the permissions for the respective locations. So that is one of the important, and what I understand is which is the need of the hour for the any filmmaker. They want the hassle-free permissions in hand. So we have worked on that as a priority basis, and we are actually functional for this. And happy to let you know all that during COVID also we did good projects, especially for the OTT platforms. Many people from across the globe came, and the few web series, very important web series, were shot in Gujarat during pandemic also. And because in Gujarat there was like no complete lockdown ever, so that helped us to promote cinematic again, the like the favorite destination for the shoot. So that has helped us a lot. And now like things are becoming normal, we are going back to normal slowly, and we are expecting normal situation very soon. And we will put all our efforts to promote cinematic tourism, because tourism is very important, but under that the cinematic tourism, which is like a spatial segment, which is again having a huge impact on the people's mindset. Through cinematic tourism, you can attract the filmmakers for their shoots and all, but not only that, but it has got a high impact on the people's mindset also, so that they can get attracted and come for the tourism in your state. So that's what we are trying. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity again, and I would congratulate KCCI for organizing such event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kathy, for a wonderful video which Gujarat Tourism has prepared. And in just 2-3 minutes, we could roam around the entire Gujarat. And that is how the entertainment industry can give the smile and the emotional connect to the tourism spots of the entire state and the country itself. And that is why the tourism and entertainment sectors goes together, because it is like a two parallel railway tracks. Both are together and both have their different domains, but the destination, the journey is travel to the entertainment and tourism industry. So thank you very much, Kathy ji, for sharing your wonderful thoughts. And yes, Gujarat has been supporting a lot to the OTT platform during this period, and in future also it will be supporting the OTT platform, the film industry. And as a Gujarati, we are very much proud when we see some places of Gujarat when we are in theater or when we are watching it on OTT platform, and when we see some Ahmedabad place or Kutch place or some other places, and we can see, hey, Apu Ahmedabad, and that makes us so much proud that yes, Gujarat Tourism is doing fantastic work to take Gujarat at a global level, and you are heading that particular section. So our kudos to you on behalf of KCCI. I'm Unmesh Dikshit, and I'm congratulating you and the entire tourism department for giving us this opportunity to getting emotionally connected. And my audience, I would like you to request, if you want to ask any questions related to Gujarat tourism, please ask it to Kathy ji and our other speakers also. And we move forward for our another segment of the speaker, which is also going to be very much interesting. He is none other than Shri Vikramjit Roy. Vikramjit Roy is head of FFO, National Film Development Corporation, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Wow, who is the best person to speak? And he is going to speak with us, share his experience and ideas about developing the entertainment and film tourism across India. He has been into advertising, film. Mekan Erickson, Vikramjit ji joined Sony Pictures Entertainment in 1997, where he worked for more than a decade, followed by a brief stint in Mumbai Mantra, a startup of Mahindra Group. 2010, he joined NFDC, a public sector enterprise, gave him an opportunity to live a personal philosophy of dedicating few years of his life to government and the industry. As a general manager, an executive producer of several feature films across Indian 11 languages, including The Good Road, many other accolades he brings us to share with his, including much loved The Lunchbox film, which was a super duper hit at Venice Film Festival also. As a head of marketing position he has held simultaneously, Vikramjit ji played a key role in positioning the NFDC brands, cinemas of India, NFDC distribution across any other places, and corporations foray into OTT space also. Giving his leadership position at NFDC, he has been a key contributor towards NFDC's objectives of developing an efficient growth for the film sector, which is connected with the tourism and entertainment both. In 2016, Vikramjit ji joined as head of Film Facilitation Office, FFO, India's version of the Film Commission set up by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting in NFDC for creating film-friendly ecosystems. So here we present to you, audience, Shri Vikramjit Roy, the head of FFO, to share his views and take us to the gala ride of the entertainment and tourism sector. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Over to you.
Thank you and namaskar. Very good morning to all of you. Mr. Bharat Patel, Secretary General KCCI, Mr. Rawal, Mr. Sheshu, Mr. Dikshit, Nakulji, for getting in touch with me. My colleagues in the film fraternity, Mr. Malik, who's here, my colleague in the film destination or the film-friendly ecosystem, Ms. Khyati Nayak, all the dignitaries, Mr. Rajiv Mehra. It is indeed an honor for me to be so warmly welcomed, and I thank you for that very kind introduction. We are today talking about sustainability, and I think sustainability comes if the core focus were to remain on how do we create a film-friendly ecosystem. But while I dwell on that, and the larger part of my deliberation will be on how we create that ecosystem, I want to just go back. A lot has been spoken about film tourism, so I'm going to cut short that bit. But I want to tell you what's happening worldwide, since I come from the film industry and have been groomed in the film industry. What we are seeing today is that when you talk, when there's a script being written or a narrative which is to be shown on the big screen, or be it the television screen or now on your mobile, the writers are looking at locations as characters. So the fourth character that you have, besides the protagonist, male, female, and the key archetypal, typical villain, you also have a character which is the location. And the locations, therefore, have their own personalities. They kind of morph into the emotional quotient that the script is trying to deliver or trying to convey to the audiences. And the audiences subconsciously begin to relate to the location and the characterization of that location. As a result of which, film destination or film marketing today has been intertwined or interlinked with location marketing and destination marketing. If you look at, and my favorite example is from 1974, when Satyajit Ray went out and filmed Sonar Kella, the Golden Fortress, in Jaisalmer. 10% of the economy till date is contributed by Bengali tourists who till date flock to Sonar Kella to figure out, or the Golden Fortress, to figure out where all Ray shot and where all Ray filmed his characters and where all those characters appeared from. You know, the various chasers, etc., which they have related to emotionally. And this has been a major impact on the Rajasthani guides. Majority of them learning how to speak Bengali. If you look at I think the iconic from a pan-India basis is Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge in 1995, which turned around, or I would say, which opened up Switzerland as a phenomenal destination. And if you look at from a global basis, Lord of the Rings in New Zealand, and more recently, the Game of Thrones in Northern Ireland, have been able to turn around those economies by not only filming there, but ensuring that those locations become characters. So therefore, it brings me to the 3 P's of destinations, or 3 P's of location. One is the personality, which I spoke about. The second is, of course, the popularity that comes by being placed in a particular film or in a web series or a TV series, and the place itself, which then has intrigue value. So, for example, if I were to translate this to A Suitable Boy, which Meera Nair shot in Lucknow, Kanpur, Maheshwar, or Chris Nolan when he came and shot Tenet in Mumbai, or the hugely popular Extraction, which is in Netflix, which shot in Ahmedabad. These locations, therefore,
bring in a certain sustainability when it comes to the economic impact. Much has been spoken about it. I would just like to talk about the more and more when you shoot at a particular place, there's a spurt in shooting, there's a spurt in filming in that particular location. And what it does is it enables skill development in and around that area. So you have people who have been hired previously, who are now technicians, who are now artists, actors, who are now can be enabled to become line producers, to become production managers, unit production managers, who some of them graduate to becoming tailors, who know about costumes, some of them become caterers, some of them transporters. So you have an entire downstream industry that is developed because more and more films come in and shoot in that particular area. But they come in and shoot why? They come in and shoot because it's easy to film there. And that is, of course, going to be the core of my discussion. But let me also give you an interesting showcase as to what's happening around the world and how India, or I would say the Asian community, including the Indian community, how are they linking back and forward? There's a vertical integration that is happening with India. We not only do we make 2,000 odd films, perhaps more if I were to look into the television serials as well as the web series that are happening. And these are across more than 10 languages: Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Marathi, Bengali, Punjabi, Bhojpuri, Assamese, Gujarati, Odia, Manipuri, etc., etc. Which means that there is a massive pan-India potential for film locations becoming tourist destinations. There is an intra and interregional tourist. For example, a Marathi film which shot in Kolhapur, and there was a tree which played a very, very important role in that particular film. And that became a destination. That became a location. And that kind of, again, brought in a lot of economic value to that particular place. And since the film was shot there. Now, if you look at the Indian diaspora, you see the growth of international film festivals which are happening, centered around India. Be it the Indian Film Festival of Melbourne, be it the River to River Film Festival, which is happening in Florence, be it the New York Indian Film Festival, the London Indian Film Festival, the Indian Film Festival in Los Angeles, the Indian Film Festival in The Hague. What are they doing? They are basically, again, enabling the Indian community that stays outside. The NRI, PIO community, which is a huge, huge community globally, and a very substantial community with a lot of voice. It allows them that cultural connect, which means that when they come back, or probably these films would excite the community that is staying outside for many, many years, who've perhaps not visited India, to come back and visit those destinations. It is also happening with the South Asians. There's a huge connect that South Asian film festivals that have a huge Indian programming are able to bridge this connectivity between India and the larger South Asian diaspora. The International Film Festival of South Asia in Toronto, the South Asian International Film Festival in New York are some examples that are enabling the Indian culture, the essence of the Indian culture, to kind of go out through these various cinematic tales, and that again comes back into tourism. I now turn to my core discussion, which is how all this is not viable if a film-friendly destination is not created. The Government of India, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, therefore, in 2015, decided to launch set up under the ease of doing business, the Film Facilitation Office at the National Film Development Corporation. Since January of 2016, the NFDC has not only operationalized the FFO, which is India's single window clearance ecosystem, which accords timely permissions, which is the one-stop digital repository of information. And while I speak, I would urge you to visit the www.ffo.gov.in, www.ffo.gov.in, which indeed has all the information pertaining to the various filmic resources that are available across India, across states, and also it also enables you and empowers you to seek your application, to seek your permissions for filming across India through the FFO portal. The FFO portal also positions and promotes India as a preferred filming destination. It is now in the process of integrating with states and key central government ministries. I shall talk about that a little later. But if you do a deep dive in the portal, you will find for filmmakers that the Ministry of INB's guiding principles and SOPs on how to prevent COVID during your media productions, be it the latest COVID guidelines of various state governments, be it the guidelines of international arrival into India, be it the film visa related information. I'll talk about the film visa a little later. Be it the contact numbers and details of all state nodal officers, be it locations across all states and union territories, be it the filming incentives that are offered by the various state governments, be it the co-production treaties signed by the Government of India to promote collaboration between Indian filmmakers and international filmmakers. The Government of India has signed around 15 such treaties which enable co-productions, and I'll talk about that a little later. And the list of trade associations, and I can continue and continue. It is a single depository that is depository to all the filming related information. And also it is your online system to ensure that your film not only gets timely permissions, both from the national government, from the key central government stakeholders, as well as various state governments. There is a recce application form that allows you, even when you want to shoot in a particular destination or a location, a lot of time producers would want to have a recce. They want to recce that place because they want to understand the topography, the geography. They want to understand what are the facilities available, what is the infrastructure there, how friendly is it, and that recce application can now be facilitated through the FFO, both for international filmmakers as well as for domestic filmmakers. You'll be happy to know that 7 state governments have an online single window system. Khyati ji spoke about Gujarat. So besides Gujarat, there's Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, and Jharkhand. And we are in the process of integrating with all of them. Now, what is really the crux of this ecosystem is on the shoulders, or I would say on the collaborative model between the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, NFDC, and the 36 state government. Each state government has appointed a nodal officer. Ms. Khyati Naik is the nodal officer for Gujarat. And like her, there are other nodal officers who are as proactive and as dynamic in the facilitation of various films and television series or web series that come to their jurisdictions. Also, one must understand that the government, be it the central government ministries or be it the state government, be it even a local Zilla Parishad, be it even a panchayat, be it even a district magistrate's office, the government is a key stakeholder in the filmic value chain. The government, because it owns certain jurisdictions or it has jurisdiction over certain filming locations or filming requirements, it becomes a stakeholder in the process of making that film. I think that understanding has certainly led or certainly enabled the creation of a most film-friendly ecosystem or an environment. I spoke about the film visa. So the film visa is a unique introduction to the various visa categories that India has, which allows, once the international film or the TV series or the web series, the international TV series or web series that has got permission from the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, the Indian Embassy issues at that particular place abroad, issues the film visa. And the film visa is valid for 1 year. It allows multiple entry facilities. It has simplified the international cast and crew coming into India. So from the very moment that you interact with India, be it your location, you're getting a film visa for that. Once your permission is done, you get a quick issuance of film visa. It has the whole, concept of engaging with India becomes friendly from the very word go when you've decided that you want to come and film in India. That, I think, is a great step taken by the government of India. A very unique category indeed. We have so far, I think there have been around 1,100 odd film visas that have been issued since 2016, which shows you the proactiveness of the Film in India initiative. The integration with the Archaeological Survey of India. India is not just geographical splendor, and there is a huge amount of iconic heritage, world-class sites. And today the FFO web portal has integrated with the Archaeological Survey of India under the guidance of the Ministry of Information Broadcasting and the Ministry of Culture, that enables filmmakers to now actually apply through the FFO portal and to seek permission to film in the ASI and get back their permission at the FFO portal. Of course, the filmmaker can go to the ASI portal directly, and that also is a extremely friendly and innovative portal indeed, which is the ASI standalone. So the FFO has integrated with the ASI, and that's also an additional benefit that the filmmaker has. And to kind of leverage those monuments, and monuments play such a, not only a cultural or a historic, but also a tourist. They're huge tourist destinations, and therefore when you see them on screen, you want to travel to those locations too. The most film-friendly state, this was talked about a little earlier. It was introduced under the National Film Awards category by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to enable states to take a very proactive, to take proactive actions towards creating a film-friendly environment. And it also recognized that the efforts that the state governments, various state governments were making towards creating this film-friendly destination. The following states so far have won, of course, Gujarat in 2015, which opened the account, followed by Uttar Pradesh in 2016, Madhya Pradesh in 2017, Uttarakhand in 2018, and Sikkim recently in 2019. What we've also done is we've brought in the marketing element, because we ourselves have learned. We've been at various international film markets which are associated with festivals. So, for example, we've gone and promoted, and we are currently promoting the Film in India initiative in the online Cannes Film Market. So we participated in Cannes Film Market in 2019, even when during the pandemic in 2020, when the Cannes Film Festival and Market went online, we were ready with our Film in India campaign. We've campaigned in the European Film Market in Berlin in 2019 and 20, the Hong Kong International Film and TV Market in 2019. These campaigns have been online. There is a site where all the producers register called Sinando. We've marketed ourselves there. We've branded ourselves there. We've gone and taken advertisements in the leading international trade journals, which Hollywood producers across the world, including Europe, read, like Screen International, The Hollywood Reporter, Variety. We've even advertised in locations which have been outdoor during the non-pandemic era. I'm talking about 2019, when we've actually gone in and had beautiful signages around the market, which have led people to come to the India Pavilion. One must mention here that the Ministry of Information Broadcasting sets up the India Pavilion to position India holistically, the film industry holistically, including its destinations and its locations, to the entire global film fraternity. The India pavilion happens in Cannes, both from an on-ground perspective as well as a hybrid or a real perspective, online perspective. In 2019, it was online. I'm sorry, in 2019, it was on ground. In 2000, and of course, before that, in 2020 and 2021, it is online and virtual. So it shows that even the pandemic, or come what may, the Government of India, the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, NFDC, and all the other agencies, which champion filming in India will not stop. That will not deter us. Similarly, there has been a huge domestic outreach. We've reached out to more than 25 producer trade associations or chambers of commerce, including those in the Northeast, more than 25. We have spoken to them about our services. We have taken them through our web portal. We have created an awareness as to how, even during the pandemic, the FFO web portal can be leveraged, and therefore, be it mainstream production houses such as Roy Kapoor Films or Contilo Pictures, Netflix, Jungli Pictures, etc., even independent filmmakers, across India have been given, have kind of come on and logged on to the FFO portal to ensure that this contactless system, which is transparent, which is efficient and online, enables filming permissions irrespective of the environment in terms of health scare or be it weather, be it the storm, etc., etc. And where we've actually educated them on the various guidelines. We've done n number of video conferences with various state nodal officers, and and so that the filmmakers are also aware of the various measures, various proactive measures being taken by the different state governments. So it is a very, very collaborative effort and not just an individualistic effort. What we've also done is we've again taken the importance of marketing as a factor in positioning destinations and locations. We've created film offices, the concept of film offices, which is a huge location show that happens in NFDC's Film Bazaar, which is held every year in November. And again, I must say that the pandemic did not deter us from holding the Film Bazaar virtually in 2020. And there too, we had the film offices which were virtually represented by some state governments. The Film Bazaar, for your information, happens alongside the International Film Festival of India, which is held every November in Goa. So what does this film offices do? The film offices, and there have been state governments such as Delhi, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Lakshadweep, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, who have taken their respective film offices to Film Bazaar, where they have showcased locations. They have showcased their policies. They have showcased their incentives. They have had one-on-one conversation with producers, both international producers, domestic filmmakers, line producers, location managers, location scouts, who writers who could base their film, their story, their narrative in that particular state. I think that over time, this has been happening since, I think, 2016. Since 2016. That over time has created another engagement opportunity to have continuous dialogues through the year, and then, of course, revive the relationship in Goa in November. So that has been, again, a fantastic outreach that has happened for both the film community as well as the state stakeholders. To give you some kind of data of the number of international applications that have come in since 2016, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India, has given 115 international projects filming permissions in India. So, and these 115 international projects comprise of film, TV, and web shows as well as series. And these 115 have come from 27 odd countries. They've been as diversified as Australia, Bangladesh, Canada, China, Denmark, France, Germany, Turkey, Spain, Nepal, Japan, US, UK, etc. Some of the more recent films, there's a film called Skater Girl, which was shot in Rajasthan, and that film opened to #1 in Netflix. A Suitable Boy, which of course, as I told you, shot in various locations. There is a feature film called A Battle of Bengal, which is shooting across multiple states right now. The Bear, which was a very important TV series from Paramount Studio, shot in Madhya Pradesh. The White Tiger, which many of you may have seen on Netflix, again, has been shot extensively in India. What is also interesting is, and I spoke about co-productions, what is also interesting is that due to these official co-production treaties that have been signed by the government of India, 11 officially recognized co-productions have happened since 2016. And that too, again, gives an opportunity to showcase and enhance the international footprint for Indian cinema. So what are the contribution of these international films when they come and shoot in India? If you look at the pure numbers, out of the 115 international projects, 81 have completed shooting in India. Out of those 81, we have informal data on 68 projects. Those 68 projects have contributed approximately 403 crores into the economy in terms of various expenditure. So 403 crores has been spent in India by 68 projects. And these 68 projects have created jobs for 29,000 odd people, and they include cast, crew, extras, supporting cast, crew members, people who we typically call below the line. Of course, it also includes mainstream actors. You must have seen Dimplji in Tenet and many, many more like her, mainstream actors, mainstream artists, supporting artists, and that entire ecosystem has been able to create 29,000 odd jobs. Let me not forget domestic filmmakers who have come to the FFO. 62 odd domestic applications have been facilitated by us in collaboration with the various state governments where they have filmed. Be it Bigil, which is a Tamil film, the Gujarati film, The Last Film Show, which is doing wondrous amount in, it got accolades in the Tribeca Film Festival. It has now even picked up a sales agent, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of Gujarat in Pan Lanin's The Last Film Show, which has also got recognition under the official treaty. Then films like Jersey, Badhai Do, Tejas, Sudarai Potru, which is a film starring the very famous Surya, was also facilitated by us at the Film Facilitation Office. The further initiatives we feel on a going forward basis would be integration with state governments, which will make the filming process further simplified, easy, on ground, be it permissions, on ground permissions, be it on location permissions within time, and of course, overall, where the state comes in and actually partners with the filmmaker. We also feel that our integration with various key central ministries and departments like the Animal Welfare Board of India will also help filmmakers ease their filming requirements. And there's a lot of policy work which is happening on that front. I now come to the conclusion and would like all of you who are stakeholders either from the government side or from the private side to actually understand a little better in terms of what is film-induced tourism. It can be a part of a small holiday. So the tourist will visit a certain location or he'll book a film tour. So please look at building a film tour in your tourist footprint. It could be a film-induced tourism as a main purpose. So instead of a part of a small holiday, it becomes the holiday. That also, and I think a film like Da Vinci Code has shown that in Europe, wherever Tom Hanks went, a lot of interest, and there have been tours which have been planned around that. So I'm sure state bodies can actually sit and plan with filmmakers and create a special interest a tour from that perspective. Third, it could be film-induced tourism where filming is only believed to have taken place. So, for example, a tourist visits the filming places even if the film represents a different setting. So, I might be creating, there's a lot of New York which has been created in Toronto. Eastern Europe has now, I am given to understand that be it Poland, be it some of the other Eastern European countries, they're actually building America there. So you go to those places. It's not New York, but you go there and you know that, okay, New York was shot here. Film-induced tourism also has a very romantic getaway, and this is happening more and more across, especially Venice, Florence. They are kind of capitalizing on this, and I'm sure our stakeholders as well as tourist operators can kind of come into this and create special honeymoon packages. Yes, yes.
I'm sorry, I'm disturbing you, but few of our panel members would like to ask you questions, and the second panel discussion is also.
Sure. So I think this as a romantic escape or an adventurous escape, built into the adventure tourism can also happen. So I'd like to conclude by saying that, when you look at film tourism, there is a huge government aspect, and I would urge all the stakeholders to sit with filmmakers and integrate their locations into the script much before in advance, much in advance before it goes to the floors. So that will actually ensure that the locations are built into the script. And when the film is made, I would urge state governments, I would urge filmmakers to create special electronic press kits, which would include, where the film was shot, the actors talking about it, the director talks about it, the producer talks about it, and the states should have an MOU signed with the filmmaker saying that you will compulsorily promote my state and I will compulsorily promote your film. Only then will this go to another level. I'm happy to answer any questions. And thank you for this opportunity once again.
Yes, thank you very much, Vikramji, for a detailed understanding from state level, regional to national, international film tourism, and how you are working hard for not leaving any corner of the world unturned, so that the Indian film is promoted, Indian tourism is promoted, and the artists and the technical people behind that gets their recognition and rewards also. So thank you very much for your speech and wonderful words. We have also many speakers joined for the next session. Aarti Patel from Gujarat, she is here. She is a stalwart producer with many successful films and the well-known actress. She would like to ask you some questions, or anybody would ask any questions. We will be winding up this session in next 2 or 3 minutes after a couple of question and answers for this particular session. So my audience, I would like you to request if you have any questions, please ask the questions.
Well, Vikramji, I just want to add something to what you said, which is a really incredible setting you have, kind of put together for this presentation. Is besides just like you spoke about very, very, importantly, that film locations have to be incorporated into the films beforehand. In that can be explored, like I said, more like a statement than a question, which is the cultural aspect. Like I feel the modern traveler, or in today's world, films are a journey into another world. So if the state setups explore the idea of letting a film be set in a certain cultural context, I can give you some examples, like the Dang forest in Gujarat is very famous for the tribal culture, the Bhils over there. Now, if a filmmaker is facilitated to go and set a film in that context, it makes the cultural context also very attractive. Or the Thayyam dances of Kerala, or the or the gypsies of Kutch. So I think that's another really important aspect which these state setups can really look into, is to create the cultural world for and that is also a very important way to it's very important for the state governments to step in there and let the filmmaker into that that social context. I just thought that is an important point, and lovely said. Thank you.
Himanshuji, I think that's a very, very important point. And, we are now facilitating a film which is going to be shot in the tribal areas in Madhya Pradesh. And we're having very, very early dialogue. The script is in development. It probably has now completed development. The first draft or the second draft is already ready. So it's at a pretty, but it's not yet going into shoot. So it's very early on that we've now involved the MP government to speak with the filmmaker. We've done 2 rounds of VCs. We're also, ensuring that the script writer and the producer and the line producer actually travel to MP and have meetings with the MP state nodal officer, to kind of flesh this out. Very important. Very shortly, I'll say, in very briefly, I'll say that the states need to now sit with various producer bodies, and we are very happy to orchestrate that, where they not only push their locations, but they say, look, if you are making a film on a cultural, which has a cultural bearing in my state, I will integrate with your script. So therefore, one must know what are the scripts that are being made, what are the scripts that are being readied. So early on. So this, I think, facilitation, a lot of state governments are very, very proactive. They have their own outreach to the industry, and I think they're doing a fantastic job. Of course, it's organic evolution, but point well taken, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your answer and motivation. Any other questions, or we move towards the vote of thanks? Since we are running short of time and the second panelists and several panel speakers are there waiting for us. So let me welcome Shri Dhaval Rawal, Mentor of Knowledge Chamber of Commerce and Industry, KCCI, and member of this committee. Dhaval Rawal is the chairman and managing director at Abhyuday Group. He is has over 25 years of experience of technical project. Dhaval Rawal is the chairman of Agriculture and Food Processing Council in SHM, Western Region, which covers under his leadership Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and Goa. He is the chairman of SME Council of SHM, Western Region, and executive member of Laghu Udyog Bharati Gujarat. Dhaval Rawal has been a part of expert member of gold delegations of corporation tourism, defense, agriculture, and food processing to the countries, and which covers Japan, France, United States of America, Russia, and UAE. He has been invited across various media platforms as an expert and advisor to comment on the various government policies and its feedback. So we welcome you, Mr. Dhaval Rawal, for the vote of thanks, and we are thankful to you for organizing this and bringing all the forward speakers together at one platform and taking this industry forward. So we present to you, Mr. Dhaval Rawal.
Thank you, Umeshji, and namaste. I feel delighted to be part of this prestigious virtual event on film tourism, sustainable development, and destination marketing. I am with all the learned speakers and experts in this media and film, so I feel delighted on that. I come from a background of engineering and project consulting, so I am not a film or media expert. But with the permission of Umeshji, I just want to share my 2.23 thoughts on this. So friends, when I was kid, I used to go to cinema halls and open air theaters to see the feature films. And after that, during this 90s, this TV, and we all have started to see the video films. And then the era of the multiplex came, where we do the shopping and the film seeing was there. And today what I feel that in this pandemic and the changing scenario of the social media, now everybody has a theater in his pocket, his mobile, and also you have the camera to shoot. So the dynamics has totally changed today. And what I believe that not only the tourism industry, any industry or any business which wants to develop themselves as a leader, they want to grab the market, they want to increase their revenue, they must think of these digital platforms and this filmmaking. So we see that previously we were seeing the various ads on TV during the some intervals. Okay, now that has also now decreased, and the focus is more onto the localization of the issues. So what I see that to promote this tourism, we actually should make it local. So localization of this digital and print media is very much important today. And I believe that through this platform, we can spread this message. And in Gujarat, I give you the example of our state, that in Gujarat, by the vision of Honorable Prime Minister when he was a Chief Minister, the Gujarat tourism was promoted, and we have seen the increase of the traffic in the visitors and tourists in Gujarat by 3 to 4 times after this. So this is a very, I will say that now it is a one important mandatory part of your business. For promotion of your business, you need this kind of the platforms and films. That's all. And now I say my special thanks to Sri Vikramjit Roy, Head for Film Facilitation Office, NFDC, Government of India. And I also thank Sri Rajiv Mehraji, President IATO, Ms. Khyati Nair from Gujarat Tourism. I also say my thanks to various supporters like Grace Live Studio, Idea to Execution, and all the speakers, mentors, and the participants whom without them this program would not have the success. So thanks to all. And once again, I say that this is a very important part of our life now. And this filmmaking is now, I will say that it is a future, not only for tourism, for all the industries. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Bharatji, for your gracious vote of thanks. Mohitji wants to ask some question. I saw some in the chat. If there is any other question, otherwise we move forward for the next session. Mohit Srivastava would like to ask a question.
Vikramjit ji.
Yes, yes.
First of all, I thank him for providing all detailed insight of the industry and give us the perspective of what is emerging in this industry. Vikramji, I just want to mention like how we can promote the bilateral agreements that has been in place globally by the different country and make it more visible to the level which is coming out globally. Since this industry is always focusing now forward to get the outsourcing work for the export of services, there is some visibility that is required from the side to the state level, so that we can get engaged into those projects in the market. So how that structure can be aligned?
Okay. Thank you for your question. The treaties that I spoke of, primarily, are audiovisual collaborative treaties signed by India and 15 countries, out of which countries as far as Brazil, South Korea, a host of European countries like England, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, our neighbor Bangladesh, so on and so forth, Canada. So these 15 countries have, if you produce or co-produce, primarily co-produce with any producer who comes from any of these 15 countries, and you apply to the Ministry of Information Broadcasting through the Film Facilitation Office on our side, and your counterpart from that country applies to his or her competent authority, you get an official recognition. What happens is that this is for audiovisual, which is for film, TV, as well as for web, and also allows you to get into areas such as animation, which are fast growing sunrise sectors, animation, and hopefully that will get into gaming, VFX, etc. So I can take you through these treaties if you have a one-on-one conversation with us, and if you are from any of these sectors and that you seek collaboration with, say, an international sector, for example, if you UK, just top of mind, UK is so very proactive in their gaming industry or the animation industry or VFX or post-production. And you have a similar setup here. You want to have a conversation with them, we will certainly help you. We'll certainly help you. So I can take this offline with you. I'm happy to discuss it and give you the support that you may want.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. We are running short of time, but however, there are some questions. Career in film industry, how government is supporting. So would any speaker would like to answer, or if I can ask?
That's Umeshji, that there are 3 globally recognized, and these are fantastic schools which are run by the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, the SRFTII, which is in Kolkata, the FTII, which is in Pune. All the Indian luminaries that you see today are mainly from FTI and SRFTII. The NFDC, the National Film Development Corporation, has its own training and vocational training programs that we keep doing time and again to enhance skill development. And if there's anybody who, be it even at a stage of editing or costume designing, and there's a huge initiative that the National Film Development Corporation Skill and Development Department, the Skill and Training Department, has taken up with various state governments to ensure that more and more people get trained and enhanced professionally in such vocational courses, so that they can come in and contribute and join the film sector. But those who want to be filmmakers, I would certainly urge them to look at FTII, SRFTII. And there's also an FTII in Itanagar. Maybe I'm wrong about the place, but there's, I think, an FTII in Itanagar. I'll just check and let you know.
Sure. Thank you. And the last question, what is the detail about if we have to give information about startup for supporting goal?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
There is a question, any startup support from goal? So how do we, if there is a startup, how do we support it?
Actually, is there any support from Government of India to start up?
No, actually, in the film sector, it is quite a unique sector, very different from, say, the other sectors that are seeing startups. For us, what is a startup? A startup is a production house. So if you are the director or the producer, get into production of a particular television series or a web series or a feature film or a documentary, you've actually started your production house. Now, there could be private equity funders for helping you set up the production house. But for a specific documentary, be it a specific film, be it a specific web series or a television series, there is funding that can be had. Documentaries can go to the films division, which is another very important arm of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, which does funding of documentaries. The National Film Development Corporation is funding and producing films for first-time filmmakers who are a startup in their own sense of the word. It also does co-funding and co-productions with various established producers. I would urge them to look at the NFDC website for further details, and I would urge them to look at the Film Division website for further details.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we are highly delighted to have all our scholar speakers, and we shall be in connect with you, with all our members who are here. We will be sharing your contact details, or we will be sharing their questions to you so that they can come up with their details plan. Thank you very much, all the speakers, all the audience members who have joined here. And now I would like to hand it over to Haji.
Mohit Srivastava would like to ask one question to ma'am.
Yes, Mohit. Yes, Mohit. Yes, Mohit. Tourism and promoting Gujarat
ask again.
investment center. Yeah.
Please ask again.
My question is that the promotion activity that Gujarat Tourism is doing from the investor perspective, like, am I audible? Clear? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
I can hear you. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Yes.
go ahead, Mohit.
So, Ms. Khyati, like from the investment, from the investment perspective and in the global who are looking for this film and entertainment segment, what kind of ease and what kind of support that the government is providing for them to engage in the Indian industry, especially.
Yeah, so as I told during my presentation that we have come up with one tourism policy, which is covering the cinematic segment also. So I would request you to go through my website first, and we have uploaded the soft copy of the recently announced policy. So once you go through it, then we can, connect with the Commissioner of Tourism, and accordingly we can guide you, because we have come up with so much of benefits in terms of subsidy and all. So we can always connect for that. So
Sure. I will do that. Thank you very much for this.
oh, welcome. Yeah.
Very much. Thank you very much once again, everybody, for joining us. I would now like to hand over it to the next session moderator, who is Mr. Ram Kumar Sheshu. He is a founder and Born to Win and India's best business mentor, and he would be taking the show further. So I hand it over to you. Thank you very much, KCCI. Thank you very much for all the speakers and audience who have been here. And thank you for allowing me to be with you in the team. And all the good luck and best wishes to the entire team, KCCI. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Shiv.
Thank you very much, Unmesh, for that lovely session that you moderated earlier. Huge shout out to Vikramjeet. Vikramjeet, I'm meeting you after, I think, 1995 or 96 when you were in McCann. And I'm really, really blown by the website that you've created, FFO.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank
More
you, sir.
power to you. And to you,
Thank you, sir.
Khyati, fantastic. I mean, the kind of work that you're doing in Gujarat is really, really awesome. Very, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very, very exciting session for you all here now. You're all aware of the fact that we're doing this particular program saying, how do we actually make sure that we get into film, as a destination marketing for film tourism as a destination market, and also for sustaining development. We've got some amazing speakers. We're running just a little, we're running. I think the earlier speaker was so good, but we've got Shri Pranab Sarkar, who's the immediate past president of IATO. We've got Shri Himanshu Malik, who's an Indian film actor, director. Himanshu, Chitrakoot, all the very best to you for that. Shri Amit Yadav, who's again a film director. Aarti Patel ji, who's an actress. Neepa Singh, former Mrs. United Nations winner. Shri Pramod Chandorkar, Shri Mahendra Vakharia, and my neighbor, Shri Amog Varsha. Amog, wonderful to see you here today. And of course, Shri Mohit Srivastava. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, let me first call upon Shri Pranab Sarkar to present to us. Shri Sarkar is the immediate past president of IATO. He's been associated with IATO for the last 15 years.
served it in various capacities. He's a graduate from the Delhi University, 1975, with a specialization in tourism. He's a man of very, very interesting parts, ladies and gentlemen. Traveled abroad extensively, visited many foreign countries for growing his own venture and for promoting Indian tourism. He is well known for his ethical business practices, great in-depth knowledge of tourism, and he believes that knowledge is to share. And I'm sure that today Mr. Sarkar will help us all understand a little more about the subject that he's going to be speaking to us about. Mr. Sarkar, without any delay, may I request you to make your presentation, sir? And Sarkarji, with your permission, I'd like you to please talk to us for the next 8 to 10 minutes. Mr. Sarkar.
Thank you, Ram Kumar ji. Thank you, Mr. Nakul. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Good afternoon to all of you, all the panelists and the delegates, all the members. It is a good initiative that film tourism is the subject today. And the word tourism is really meant for the tourist to take care, whether it is the Indian tourist within the country or Indian tourists going abroad or foreign tourists coming to India. So that's all together makes it a tourism related and connected to visit the sites related to the films and film shooting locations, and many more is connected, and for which India at the moment is not really doing any perfect marketing or promotion for this. And the tour operators on their individual capacity, they are trying to promote such packages and promote those areas which are seldomly visited by the tourist, and the less facilities available in certain areas, but majority of the locations there are good accommodations and road connectivity and flight connectivity is already there. So my submission here is that I see film is the #1 entertainment and supported by TV serials for all the mass people and maximum viewership. This is the powerful way to showcase at home and abroad. It showcases not only the natural, cultural, historical, religious, luxurious, education and adventure, but also it influences the travel designing for the visitor who wants to visit those locations. As soon as they see the beautiful locations, those things are set in their mind, and in their lifetime they always think they will like to visit those areas. And this is the industry, film is the industry where we should, as all of you have already spoken, that it creates local jobs and economic development for the locations. This is also attracts investments in related business. On the whole, we can say that it is an economic activity for the benefit of the location, people and the country. Therefore, film tourism is a very, very important subject as far as the tourism is concerned and the tour operators concerned. I, being a tour operator, I have ventured out many locations on film tourism, and there is a success in the rating of our tourist inflow. Not only domestically, they use as a part of their regular itineraries, and also the international tourists, they particularly see a movie and then try to connect and visit India, and the part of their itinerary also we focus on the locations. Everybody knows that Bollywood is one of the biggest promoter of films, and we see lot of Bollywood, these Hollywood movies have been shot in India. And if you see that Gandhi movie was there, James Bond, few movies were there, and Slumdog Millionaire. These are few movies which really created hot locations for India to sell as tourism locations. Unfortunately, what is happening that no state government is giving any importance for promoting this sector. So what we see that state government should come forward and try to promote these locations along with their own brochures they print, and this can be a publicity for the people not only within India but also abroad to promote these film packages. And I'm sure once it is developed, then there will be more footfall of tourists coming to India. If you see the Universal Studio in US, they have created a venue for people to come and see. That is the attraction. Do we have those kind of locations? Yes, we have some like Ramoji Film City, Dada Saheb Phalke in Maharashtra, Noida Film City, Innovative Film City in Karnataka. So many are there, but there is a need for every state to come up with such innovative film locations where people not only can come and see the shooting happening, but also some entertainment and some time spending. This will be a great help for developing this tourism product as a hot selling tourist product, and I'm sure that this volume can fetch a huge number coming to our country, as well as we know lot of people from our country are going abroad to visit the locations in Europe, US and other areas. Though there is a vice versa tourist movement. So film tourism is a huge prospect for the tour operators, and I'm sure with our membership we can develop such programs. A combined effort can be developed within the film this association. If they have any, we can connect with them through our association, and we can develop certain locations with the help of these both the associations and create new packages. And there are enormous number of itineraries can be made visiting all over India as well as all over the world. We can look into and we can create a very, very useful development of film tourism itineraries and programs. And this will not only create jobs, but also bring in foreign exchange for our country, which is very, very important. And I'm sure the kind of development our country has already made on film, we are sure we are a mature film destination, and we can support this as our product. And as a tour operator, I will recommend that most of the tour operators who are involved in this business will be able to gain out of it, and the local people will also gain. And most importantly, the subjects on these films are theme based, can also be produced. We have beautiful stories in our local areas in the states. Those stories can be told, as one of the panelists mentioned, that when Sonar Killa happened, then people have started talking in, the guides started learning the language of Bengali. That is the kind of impact tourism can bring in. So we are sure that one area of successful film can fetch lot of footfall of tourists, and this will be a very win-win situation for the film industry as well as the tour operators industry. Thank you very much.
Share one thing with you, Lada. I must share one thing with you, Pranabda.
Yes.
I'm from Bangalore and I moved to Bombay sometime later.
Uh-huh.
Everybody used to ask me, "Tum Sholay ke wahan se aaye ho kya?" because they wanted to go to Ramnagaram. Anyway, thank you so much, Pranabda. Please stay back with us in case there are any questions that our audience would like to ask you for a little later.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next speaker that we have today, Himanshu Malik. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance, you must watch Chitrakoot. It's a fantastic movie that he's made. Himanshu, of course, is very well known. He is a man of many parts. Some of you would have seen him in Tumbin. He's done a lot of work in movies like Khwahish, I'm sorry. And Himanshu, over to you, my friend. Please give us the perspective of how, as a filmmaker, you could help in terms of promoting destination tourism. Himanshu?
Thank you so much, Ram Kumarji, and namaskar to everyone. Thank you for having me here, and really lovely to be a part of this esteemed gathering. So much has been said today, and it's really wonderful for me to be here and know that there is such a sustained effort to help filmmakers to try and integrate a lot of aspects of tourism and cultural identity, and the complications a filmmaker faces on making a film. And it's really wonderful to know all these things. So I don't have much to say, just that I think it's absolutely true. The world of films is so powerful that when a particular location or a particular city is portrayed in a film, they create such imagery in the minds of an audience that it can lead to a change in that area. I've been a part of many films where ultimately because of the films, the tourism increased. Like we did Tumbin in Calgary in Canada, and for many years after that, the Indian tourist going to Calgary tripled and quadrupled, and it continues to be a kind of a. Yesterday, we 2 days back we celebrated 20 years of Tumbin, and I had people constantly asking me, where was this shot and when can we go there? Where is it? How do you go there? So it's phenomenal, the impact of cinema. That's one very clear thing that I must say. Secondly, I think what is very important is to understand that filmmaking is a very tough, it's a very tough art. It's a very complex art, because not only is it financially, that's one aspect of it, but even technically, the amount of effort, time that goes into it, it is known to be the most expensive art on the planet. So I think the governments, state governments, the even smaller operators, tour operators, if everybody becomes a part of the ecosystem to help the filmmaker to make the film, that is a very important aspect, because if the state governments or area specific managers, nodal officers, or tour operators sit back and wait for the films to come to their area and for them to kind of just once the film is made and released and just then enjoy the fruits of the hard work that the filmmaker has done, that is one way to do it. The other way to do it is to proactively help the artist, to help the filmmaker, to collaborate. So there's one film that I'm currently developing, and hopefully I'll go into production soon, where I went to the local hotel manager, the hotel chains there, and said, you support me to make a film here, and I will bring tourism to you in the future. So I think that's very important at grassroots level, that people understand the impact of cinema and people help filmmakers, and it is a very critical aspect. And the more support you give to the artist, the more support you give to the filmmaker, the more convenient it becomes for them to portray your world, which finally, leaves an impact on the audience and they want to come back for more. So that's the only thing. If either of you, any of you ever come across filmmakers, please understand that they need support at every level. And it is not about financial support. It is not about, it is not just about the logistics. It is also about the feeling of comfort that a filmmaker gets when he goes to a particular area, which is very important. I have had instances as an actor, as a filmmaker, where you would go to an area and all kinds of problems are put in front of you. The political problems in the area, then there is permission problems. And these are very on ground brass tacks problems. For a small filmmaker, it can be a huge deterrent. We as filmmakers have our own codes of understanding that don't shoot in this area, don't shoot there, don't shoot here because it's trouble. So it would be great to have a utopian world where you can actually shoot in multiple areas without this worry and have the society support you. So I think that is my key point. A lot has been already said and beautifully said, and really look forward to make more films and support more setups and make this an exciting journey for all of us. Thank you. Thank you,
Himanshu, thank you very much for that. I completely agree with you. I think we just need to be a little more sensitive because, at the end of the day, it is, as you said, a very creative business. I mean, it is a business, all right, but it's more creative rather than business. And I think all the support that we can get. And I'm hoping that, the white paper that is going to be submitted by the KCCI today will go and incorporate this very important point that, look, it's not really about the money. It's just the general support. It's just generally being there. I'm sure we'll incorporate that, Himanshu. Maybe what we will also do, Himanshu, with your permission, is we'll get back to you with some specific points that can be incorporated into the white paper, right? Himanshu, thank you very much for that.
I'll be glad to look at it. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank
Our
you.
next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is the very exciting Amit Yadav. Amit is again a man of many parts. Amit, he's a film director, he's a writer, he's a producer. But very important, I think, one thing that everybody would love to hear about it from him is that he's the founder of the Bollywood Celebrity Cricket Cup, which manages events across the country. And I'm sure that such events also promote tourism, promote destination tourism in a sustainable manner. Amit, without any further ado, would love to hear from you on what you think is the support that you require as a filmmaker. Amit?
हेलो
Yes, Amit.
हेलो सर हाँ जी सर आवाज आ रही है सर हेलो
बिल्कुल आ रही है अमित जी. आपका अगर वीडियो ऑन कर सकोगे तो फिर.
यस सर
बोलिए अमित जी.
सबसे पहले सर सभी लोगों में प्रणाम करता हूँ. सभी लोग मुझसे बड़े हैं और सीनियर हैं और बहुत अच्छा लगा कि इसमें एक पार्ट बनने का मौका मिला आप सबके साथ में. और ये जो एक समिट के ऊपर हम चर्चा कर रहे हैं सिनेमा और टूरिज्म को लेके, वो सर मेरा वीडियो आ रहा है सर?
हाँ बिल्कुल आ रहा है सर, बिल्कुल आ रहा है अमित जी, बोलिए.
तो सर क्या है कि मैंने भी बॉम्बे में जब स्ट्रगल स्टार्ट किया था तो थिएटर से स्टार्ट किया था मैंने, देन बॉम्बे पहुंचा. तो सबसे बड़ी चीज होती है कि जो कैटेगरी होती है एक्टर, एक्ट्रेस, राइटर, सिनेमाटोग्राफर, इनको काम मिलने की. देन एक कैटेगरी होती है जब कोई फिल्म बनाता है, इन्वेस्ट करता है प्रोड्यूसर के साथ या प्रोड्यूसर, उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कह सकते हैं कि वो उसका पैसा कैसे निकलता है. बट ये दोनों चीजें अगर हम देखें तो कहीं ना कहीं एक टूरिज्म से जरूर जुड़ी हुई हैं, क्योंकि अगर हम किसी स्टेट में जाते हैं तो वहाँ कहीं ना कहीं एक जरूर वो संख्या होती है जो सिनेमा में जाना चाहती है, बट वो पढ़ाई भी करते हैं, शिक्षा भी लेते हैं वो, बट उनको ये नहीं पता होता रास्ता कैसे है। स्ट्रगल करने पहुंचना भी चाहिए, स्ट्रगल करना भी चाहिए अपनी लाइन में, बट ये रास्ता भी तो एक पता होना चाहिए कैसे है। बट फिल्म इंडस्ट्री का ऐसा कोई रास्ता तो है नहीं कि इस रास्ते से जाना है, इस रास्ते से जाना है। तो कोई भी स्टेट सर टूरिज्म और सिनेमा को कैसे जोड़ सकता है, जो मुझे लगता है, ये मेरा एक ओपिनियन है, एक ऐसी चीज क्रिएट की जाए कि जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, जब हम किसी रीजनल सिनेमा में पहुंचते हैं बनाने के लिए, तो एक ऐसा सरकार की तरफ से एक ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए कि अगर कोई हमारी रीजनल फिल्म बनाने आता है कोई प्रोड्यूसर, उसके पैसे कहाँ से कैसे क्या निकलने की संभावनाएं हैं। अगर किसी इन्वेस्टर के पैसे निकलते हैं सर रीजनल फिल्म से, तो वहां सिनेमा वो जरूर बनाएगा, और वहां सिनेमा बनाएगा तो वहां के लोगों को काम मिलना तो फिर वो कहीं ना कहीं बढ़ जाता है कि उनको काम मिलता ही है सर उससे। गवर्नमेंट चाह के सब्सिडी भी एक पार्ट है, और बहुत सारी चीजें निकाल सकते हैं कि कैसे इस पे वर्क किया जाए। और जब शूटिंग होने आती है किसी स्टेट में, किसी सिटी में, तो वहां की जो लोकेशन है वो रिवील होती है सर। अब आप छोटी छोटी फिल्मों की बात करते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी लोग फिल्मों की बात करते हैं कि उन्होंने बनाया इतना, उन्होंने बनाया ऐसा। मराठी फिल्म भी बहुत सारी कम बजट की फिल्में इतनी हिट हुई कि लोगों ने वर्ल्ड वाइड देखी उसको। गुजराती फिल्में बहुत अच्छी हिट हुई, वर्ल्ड वाइड देखी गई। पंजाबी सिनेमा भी बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है। तो जब शूटिंग जहाँ पे भी होगी सर, ज्यादा होगी, स्कोप भी होगा हर किसी तरीके से, तो वहाँ के टूरिज्म को 100% कहीं न कहीं एक बढ़ावा मिलेगा उस चीज के लिए। तो जो ये मेरा एक ओपिनियन है, जो मेरा मानना है, मैं सर ये सोचता हूँ कि गवर्नमेंट को एक बार, टूरिज्म डिपार्टमेंट को भी एक बार, कि सिनेमा की इंडस्ट्री को कैसे बिल्डअप किया जाए हमारे अपने स्टेट में, इस पे सर एक फोकस बहुत जरूरी है, जिससे कि इन्वेस्टर भी सेफ रहे और वहाँ के लोगों को जो काम चाहते हैं उनको भटकना ना पड़े, उनको भी एक सही रास्ता मिले। ये सर मेरा ओपिनियन है। और जैसे कि मैं सेलिब्रिटी क्रिकेट कप ऑर्गेनाइज करता हूँ, मैंने लखनऊ में 2018 में करवाया था। एक तरफ बॉलीवुड की टीम थी और एक तरफ वहाँ के मिनिस्टर्स और आईपीएस आईएएस खेल रहे थे। तो जब बॉलीवुड के मैचेस होते हैं, 20 एक्टर कहीं प्ले करने जाते हैं, उनके अगेंस्ट अगर हम वहीं लोकल टीम बनाते हैं वहाँ के लोगों की, तो उन एक्टरों को देखने के लिए चार्म बढ़ जाता है। जब चार्म बढ़ता है तो कहीं ना कहीं हम बहुत सारी चीजें अपने एडवर्टाइजमेंट से भी अपनी चीजों को प्रमोट करते हैं और लोगों तक पहुंचाते हैं। तो ऐसे मैचेस भी जरूरी हैं कि कभी ना कभी एक गेट टुगेदर, एक अपनी चीज को दिखाने के लिए, बढ़ाने के लिए मैचेस ऐसे होते रहें हर स्टेट में। तो ये बहुत अच्छा एक रास्ता है टूरिज्म के लिए। और मैं भी प्रयास कर रहा हूँ कि अभी गुजरात में एक मैच के लिए ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, मोहित जी के साथ में मैच करवाया जाए वहां पे। तो सर मैं बस इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा कि जो मुझे समझ में आता है सर मैंने आपसे शेयर किया। बाकी सर आप सब लोग बहुत सीनियर हैं एकदम से। थैंक यू सर।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। शुक्रिया
जी
अमित
सर।
जी, बहुत मतलब आप बहुत ही अच्छा बोले। वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट आपने कही कि एक्चुअली एक एक फैक्ट है अमित जी कि बहुत सारे
जी सर।
फिल्म बनते हैं, बड़े फिल्म भी बनते हैं, लेकिन बहुत सारे मीडियम बजट, स्मॉल बजट फिल्म्स भी बनते हैं और उनको भी ध्यान देना चाहिए। बहुत ही बढ़िया बात आपने कही।
Absolutely, Amit ji. Thank you for saying these things. I think, जैसे Ram Kumar ji said, the big films that don't need support get all the support from the government. The small films that need support are not given anything. Am I right, Amit ji?
Absolutely. I think we will need to. ये
मतलब Sanjay Leela Bhansali does not need a government subsidy. He's anyway
Yes.
taking home so much money, doesn't know what to do with it, and it's a small players. Am I right, Amit ji?
Yes.
Himanshu,
Yes,
we'll
yes.
leave that. We'll we're getting into an interesting discussion, but let's keep that for the panel chat a little later. Let's move to our next speaker. We have another very very interesting speaker. Mrs. Patel is a very renowned actress. She's known for her work in movies like Love Me Babai, Bayar, and Mission Mummy. She set new milestones in her third film, Love Me Babai, and also she's a RJ. She hosts a very famous program called Zindagi Express on My FM, which is also an award-winning program. Mrs. Patel, without any further ado, can I request you, Aarti ji, to please address us?
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I heard so fantastic ideas, ideation about tourism and this is a brilliant subject. I can go on and on this subject because for last 30 years I am working in this industry. So now everyone has said so many things. Now we are coming to reality when it comes to actual shooting. Single window is very attractive and very easy to approach. Is a thing that you can apply online, and but to my experience and so many experiences, single window is not working because the departments, tourism is doing its best, but every department, when we are going to that local area, the collector of that place, the police of that place, the archaeology department, the forest department, everyone should be on the same page when it comes to shooting, because we are going out of this our hometown. When we are shooting, we are going for some destination shooting, as we say, but वहां पहुंचते हैं तो the forest department will say ki we don't want to promote our forest this because we don't want tourists here. So many times I wonder ki then why this single window? Where is the single window? Because acha, you have to go to each and every police station to give your answers. ये बोलते ही पुलिस का फोन आता है कि आप लिखवा जाओ आपको क्या करना है. We have got your application, but we would like to. So someone will go to that place where we are shooting. So we will go to that place. We will give the explanation of about our shootings and everything. Well, it should come from the single window. We should not get any of the hassle once we are dealing with single window. So single window, and then after the single windows, there are so many windows. Second thing, we are not sure ki how in which category we are treated, right? We are regional filmmakers. So everywhere for regional, the policies are different. They are getting subsidies and everything. Here we are compared with Hindi films or Netflix films or English films. They must be having their budget in crores of rupees, say 60 crores, 100 crores, 150 crores. Wherever regional films and regional web series, they are dealing with 50 lakh to 1 crore, 1.5 crore. Second thing, there should be one platform where we can keep which are the locations, which are the policies, what are the rates, and from where we can get all this thing in one envelope. Keep you are ready for shooting. So the picture is so rosy, the idea is so rosy, but when it comes to actual this shooting, the producers are facing so many problems. We have to deal with local people. After all, you have got so many permissions. Chalo, you have got, but the local people will say कि हमें साहब का फोन नहीं आया. He cannot read English. So what I suggest, this as we are trying to improve our cinematic tourism, that the tourism should have its local representative at every film shooting place, so that producer can easily communicate with them. If there is one little problem at the tourism place, whom to call? Who will answer your call? So there must be one local person who can guide you, who can coordinate and connect you with the officials. So एक टर्म ऐसा आ जाता है सर कि छोड़ो यार, नहीं करना है, टूरिज्म के स्पॉट पे नहीं जाना है सर. I'm just saying because before just in January 2020, I faced so many problems. and we were forced to pay money, which is not in GR. But said the one person he got ये कि नहीं अब तो हमें तो पता नहीं पहले कैसे करते थे. So they should be on same page. Tourism people, they Gujarat tourism, they should call producers, line producers, executive producers, and the respective departments, so that we can tell them ke what are the actual problems. Same thing, when we are doing something, so in promotion also, we should be I mean supported by the government. Ki, just we did our last film Lavani Bhavai in Diu and Naida Caves, and so many people are going there and posting their photographs and tell us ki see hum bhi yahan jaake aaye jahan apni film hui thi Lavani Bhavai. So many people are visiting Diu. Acha aisa Diu to kabhi dekha nahi, because we shot in Diu. That my film poster is on website of Gujarat Tourism. So we are doing so many things to promote Gujarat tourism. But is Gujarat tourism trying to promote our films? That is the main question. And we are small producers. We don't run production houses. So when we are dealing with some our permissions, people or the departments are excited about Jayesh Bhai Jordar is coming to shoot here. We said, "Arey Jayesh Bhai Jordar, Yashraj is coming. We know, but we are a small producer. Please हमारी sign कर दो. Please हमारी ये कर दो." We had to go to each and every department. So to make sure that we are producers, but make sure that everyone is on same page. If it is online, so online it should work. Because when it comes to shooting, we ask for permission just before 1.5 months, and we are told कि if you are not getting any negative answer, you are allowed to shoot. But can I take that risk? No. I cannot go with my camera unit and whole unit to some place and said कि government की ये policy है कि if I am not getting negative answer, I am allowed to shoot. Who will believe me? And I envy those pre-wed shoot वाले लोग कि जो 1000 of ये हम जहाँ shoot करने जाते हैं permission के लिए मर जाते हैं, वहाँ 100 of pre-wed shoots are going on everywhere. They are using drones also where we are not. So there are so many things we would like to.
Aarti ji, एक minute Aarti ji. Purvi, can you please turn off your mic, Purvi? Can you mute yourself, please, if you don't mind? Have you done it? Sorry, Aarti ji, please continue.
Yes. So there are so many pre-wed shoots are going on. They don't take permissions. They are using drones. और कहीं भी जाओ और हमें लगता है यार हमें ऐसी परमिशन कब मिलेगी कि वैसे ही चले जाओ और प्री-वेड शूट की जैसा पूरा तामझाम लेके हम शूट कर ले. So we want to shoot, sir. We want to show so many beautiful places because we know कि Gujarat has so much diverse locations. We have forests, we have deserts, we have sea beaches. That is the longest beach हमारे पास. तो कोस्टल एरिया हमारा इतना अच्छा है, हमारे पास स्टोरीज इतनी अच्छी है, बस यही डर जाते हैं कि यार नहीं हो पाएगा. So it becomes so difficult.
Fantastic.
So that's all. Sorry.
I know. I think it's a very good point that you made. आपने बहुत ही अच्छी point कही है. तो ये जो KCCI जो एक white paper publish करेगी, तो उसमें मैं उनको बोलूँगा कि आपसे consult करने के लिए, ताकि अगर हम लोग specifically, see, one thing I've seen everywhere is after Vikramjit's presentation and Khyatiji's talk, people are willing to do things. I think we just need to point out and get it done.
Yes,
बिल्कुल करेंगे.
Yes, sir.
Thank
you so much. Thanks so much for having me. And this is a place where I could say behalf of the Gujarati film industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arvind. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is Mrs. Neepa Singh. Can somebody please help me with her profile? Nipa ji is Mrs. United Nations. Go back, please, once. Can the organizers go back one? Yeah. Nipa Singh is Mrs. United Nations winner. And the interesting thing about Nipa ji is that in addition to doing whatever she's done, her foundation is working with women, and she's very closely working with the tribals in Dang in Gujarat in protecting the traditional tribal herbal knowledge. Nipa ji, thank you very much for all of that. Can I request you to please address us for about 5 minutes on what your experience is on film tourism and how you'd like to help. Nipa ji?
Hello everyone. नमस्कार. मेरी आवाज आ रही है आप लोग को?
मैडम बिल्कुल आ रही है. एक can I request everybody else to mute themselves? Thank you. Nipa ji, go ahead.
हेलो. हाँ. पहले तो आज का जो टॉपिक है उस रिगार्डिंग मैं प्रोड्यूसर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि ये इंडस्ट्री में प्रोड्यूसर क्या क्या फेस करते हैं, अगर उनके प्रति ध्यान नहीं दिया गया तो हम ठीक से ग्रो नहीं कर पाएंगे. क्योंकि एक फिल्म मेकिंग ऐसी चीज है कि जिसमें सारे लोग निश्चिंत होके कमाते हैं, प्रोड्यूसर को छोड़ के. पूरा टेंशन जो होता है वो प्रोड्यूसर के सर पर होता है. तो एज ए कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म कि इससे कुछ निकल कर हम कुछ उपाय इसका लाएं, मैं उस बारे में बात करना चाहूंगी. हम बुराई करके उसका कोई उपाय नहीं ला सकते हैं. इसीलिए पहले जो प्रॉब्लम्स है मैं वो डिस्कस करना चाहती हूँ. सबसे पहले बात आती है कि फाइनेंसिंग की. कोई भी फिल्म हम बनाने जाते हैं तो जैसे कि बहुत पहले भी लोगों ने कहा है कि फाइनेंस के लिए कोई चीज होती नहीं है इंडस्ट्री में कि बॉलीवुड और रीजनल फिल्म को हम कंपेयर करते हैं तो काफी डिफरेंस होता है. जहाँ 1-2 करोड़ में रीजनल फिल्म बनाने की बात होती है और बॉलीवुड में तो स्टार्ट ही हम 10 करोड़ 15 करोड़ से ही करते हैं. तो अगर हम वो क्वालिटी की बनाने जाते हैं तो हमारा बजट बढ़ जाता है. और बजट बढ़ने से सारी चीजें कैसे इफेक्ट होती है, कैमरा से लेकर लाइट्स, स्पॉट बॉय, एक्टर्स, सारी चीजें. और फिर अगर आउटपुट अच्छा नहीं आता है तो हमारी रीजनल फिल्म को डब्बे में डाल दिया जाता है कि ये क्वालिटी वाइज अच्छी नहीं है, इतना खर्चा नहीं हुआ है, इसे देखने क्या जाना. और गुजराती फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की बात करूं तो यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी लोग हिंदी पे पहले क्रेज था, इसीलिए गुजराती को व्यूवरशिप ज्यादा नहीं मिलती है. मतलब हिंदी ही ज्यादा लोग देखते हैं ताकि गुजराती कम देखी जाती है. तो अब ट्रांजिशन फेस ऐसा है कि अब धीरे धीरे अच्छी फिल्में आने लगी है, अच्छे प्रोड्यूसर्स आने लगे हैं जो उस लेवल की फिल्म्स बना रहे हैं. बात करती हूँ पहले कैमरा की. तो जो रेड कैमरा और एरी एलेक्सा कैमरा पे शूट होता है, अगर वो हम हायर करते हैं, अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी हायर करते हैं, तो उसको ऑपरेट करने वाले कोई यहाँ हमें मिलते नहीं है. तो हमें कैमराज बाहर से लाने पड़ते हैं. लोकल में हमें कोई ये कैमराज ही नहीं मिलते हैं. अगर मैं खरीद भी लूँ, एक बार अगर हम किसी से इन्वेस्ट करवा के खरीद भी ले तो उसे ऑपरेट कौन करेगा. तो स्किल डेवलपमेंट की जरूरत है कि जैसे गुजरात में अहमदाबाद जैसी जगह पे हमें स्किल डेवलपमेंट मतलब लोग नहीं मिलते हैं, कैमरामैन हो या लाइटमैन हो, वैसी अच्छी हाईफाई लाइट्स नहीं मिलती हैं. तो हम लोग बाहर जाते हैं. भाई बॉम्बे, छोटी सी छोटी डीआई करने के लिए हमें बॉम्बे जाना पड़ता है, या मुंबई मतलब से लोग आते हैं या हम उधर लेकर जाते हैं. टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है. तो इस चीज के लिए मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि गवर्नमेंट में ने इस पे ध्यान देना चाहिए कि ऐसा कोई इंस्टीट्यूट जिसमें यहीं के लोकल लोग हो, जिससे हम स्किल डेवलप करके उन्हें ऑपरेट करना सिखा दे कि भाई कैमरा जो हम ला रहे एरी एलेक्सा अब लाना है तो यहाँ कोई ऑपरेट नहीं कर सकता है. प्लस लाइट्स के एंगल है या ये वो जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी है, तो ये मुझे बॉम्बे से पूरा यूनिट मंगा के यहाँ रुका के उनको सब चीजें प्रोवाइड करने में मेरा बजट बढ़ जाता है. तो अगर मैं बोलूँ कि मेरी फिल्म 50 लाख से 1 करोड़ में बनती है तो वो पॉसिबल नहीं है. जस्ट मुझे डबल हो जा रहा है. तो अगर मेरी फिल्म 2 करोड़ में जाती है तो यहाँ मुझे कैसा होता है कि आप 2 करोड़ में अगर फिल्म बना रहे तो रिकवरी कैसे होगी, क्योंकि आपको सब्सिडी 2 करोड़ की मिलने वाली नहीं है. कोविड के बाद सारी चीजें चेंज हो गई है कि प्रोड्यूसर क्यों फिल्म बनाए. अगर प्रोड्यूसर फिल्म अगर कोविड के बाद बनाता है, क्योंकि मैं कोविड के बाद वाली प्रोड्यूसर हूँ, जैसे ही मैंने स्टार्ट किया यहाँ पर लॉकडाउन आ गया था, तो फिर उसके बाद सारी चीजें चेंज हो गई है. कि अभी तक थिएटर नहीं खुले हैं, तो हमारी फिल्में थिएटर में देखने कौन जाएगा। और अगर मैं ओटीटी के लिए कोई फिल्म बनाती हूँ तो मुझे उतना रिटर्न मिलेगा जितना मैं खर्चा करती हूँ। मेरा स्टैंडर्ड जो मैंने मेंटेन करके रखा हुआ है, मैं ऐसी क्वालिटी के, ऐसे लोकेशंस, ऐसा टूरिज्म पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बनाऊं, तो क्या मुझे रिटर्न में प्रोड्यूसर को मिलेगा। अच्छे एक्टर्स लेते हैं हम, अच्छे साउंड इफेक्ट लेते हैं, तो जो स्टूडियो का किराया 500 रुपए का होता है, अगर मैं 2000 पर डे का मैं दे रही हूँ या 2000 घंटे का दे रही हूँ, तो क्या मुझे रिटर्न में इतना पैसा मिलेगा। तो वो नहीं हो पाता है। तो प्रॉब्लम यहाँ आके फिर हम भी सीधी सादी एक पुराने जमाने से जो चली आ रही वो क्वालिटी की, हम आज की जो टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं यूज करते हुए जो चला आ रहा हम उसी पे जाएं। और हमें लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी चाहिए। जहां हॉलीवुड की फिल्में, मैं चाहती हूँ कि मेरे देश में ऐसी व्यवस्था हो कि जो हॉलीवुड में सारा स्क्रीन किए हुए राउंड स्क्रीन पे कोविड टाइम पे पूरा शूट करके वो लोग बाहर के लोकेशन पर भी नहीं गए और ओटीटी पे वो लोग करते हैं। जैसे कि वो मैंडोलोरियन करके जो उनकी फिल्म बनी है, उसमें पूरी राउंड स्क्रीन पे काम हुआ है। तो ऐसा हमारे यहाँ प्रोवाइड नहीं है, कोई करके भी नहीं देने वाला अभी, और ना तो होने वाला है। तो फिर हमें ग्राउंड रियलिटी पे जाके शूट करना है। अब बात आती है परमिशन की। जैसे कि आरती जी ने पहले कहा, वो एकदम 100% राइट बातें हैं कि हम जब परमिशन के लिए जाते हैं तो इतने इफ्स एंड बट्स होते हैं। तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि गुजरात सरकार इसके प्रति ध्यान दे कि लोकल में जब हमें शूट करना होता है तो फिल्म के स्टार्टिंग में हमें एक ओवरऑल परमिशन दिया जाए। एक अच्छा प्रोडक्शन हाउस जिसके सारे पेपर्स आप रख लो, चाहिए कि हमारी जवाबदारी होगी, अगर कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होती है तो वो हमारी जवाबदारी है, हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी में आएगा। हमें शुरुआत से एंड तक फिल्म शूटिंग में बार बार परमिशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती। प्लस ड्रोन की बात हुई कि बिना ड्रोन के तो हमारा काम ही नहीं होगा। जैसे कि छोटी छोटी चीजों में हर जगह ड्रोन यूज कर रहे हैं हम फिल्म वालों को, जबकि हम रजिस्टर्ड कंपनीज हैं। मेरा निपा सिंह प्रोडक्शन प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, मैंने इतनी मेहनत से हमने किया है, अगर तो उसको इतना तो राइट्स देना चाहिए आपने कि आप लोकेशन पे जाके पूरी फिल्म कैसे भी कहीं भी शूट कर सकते हो गुजरात में। तो हमें बहुत सारे पेपर वर्क में नहीं जाना पड़े। कभी क्या होता है कि बारिश की वजह से या कोई चीजों की वजह से शूट कैंसिल हुआ, तो हमें तुरंत अगर शूट का लोकेशन चेंज करना है तो फिर हम 7 दिन के लिए वेट करेंगे। तो मेरा क्रू सारा जो अगर मुंबई से आया हुआ है तो वहां ये यहाँ रुकेगा, उसका खाना पीना, मेरा जस्ट सब चीज हो जाती है। तो कोविड के बाद बहुत सारी फाइनेंशियल चीजों पे सोचना है, तो ये नहीं हो पाता है। एक्टर्स को उनका पैसा मिल जाएगा, डायरेक्टर्स को मिल जाएगा, स्पॉट बॉय से लेके सारे लोगों को मिल जाएगा, तो प्रोड्यूसर को कहाँ से मिलेगा। हमें इतने चीजों में फंस गए हैं हम लोग कि हम लोग उससे बाहर ही नहीं निकल पा रहे। तो हमारी खाली इतनी ही रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमें जो जा जाके हम खुद सस्टेन कर रहे हैं अपने आप को, तो भाई हमें सरकार के तरफ से क्या चाहिए, एक अच्छी सब्सिडी। आप देखिए हमारी फिल्म में क्या यूज हुआ है, कैसा क्वालिटी का है, वो हिसाब से आप सब्सिडी दीजिए। फिर सेकंड।
हाँ जी,
हाँ, मेरा आवाज आ रहा है?
आवाज आ रहा है मैडम। थोड़ा 1-2 मिनट में आप अगर कंप्लीट करेंगी तो आपकी बात तो बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा। गो अहेड।
हाँ ठीक है, तो मैं बस इतना ही कहना चाहूंगी कि हमें लोकल परमिशन जहाँ भी शूट करने जा रहे हैं वो जल्दी मिल जाए, ताकि हमें 7-7 दिन इतना वेट नहीं करना पड़े। और ओवरऑल परमिशन होनी चाहिए, ताकि हम तो उन्हीं को प्रमोट कर रहे हैं भाई, हम गुजरात टूरिज्म को ही प्रमोट कर रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
और
बिल्कुल।
जो चीज वहां जा रही, जो एरिया को प्रमोट करते हैं हम लोग, तो वो तो उनके इसमें आता ही है ना भाई, कि भाई हम जहां भी कर रहे हैं तो गुजरात टूरिज्म का डालेंगे या जिसका भी डालेंगे। तो इसके लिए इतने इफ्स एंड बट्स नहीं होने चाहिए मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। बाकी सिक्योरिटी का आप हमारे पे छोड़ दीजिए, हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रहेगी। आप लोग प्रोवाइड करते हैं तो ठीक है, नहीं तो हम अपनी सिक्योरिटी खुद की लेकर जाएंगे, और ये सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हमारी होनी चाहिए बस। और ये सब छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं जो गुजरात गवर्नमेंट हमें सपोर्ट कर सकती है इस चीज में। बाकी तो जैसे पहले भी अमित जी और इन्होंने कहा, आरती बेन ने कहा, वो एकदम सही बात है कि प्रोड्यूसर्स को थोड़ा रिलैक्सेशन होना चाहिए, ताकि फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को हम कैसे ग्रो करें आगे जाके। अभी तो 1 साल तो भूल ही जाइए कि सारे थिएटर्स बंद है, हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सक रहे। तो हमें ये सब चीज में छूट दे तो हम आगे कुछ सोच सके।
बिल्कुल मैडम, बिल्कुल। नहीं, बहुत बढ़िया बात, बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट है आपका। जरूर हम आपसे बात करेंगे और आपसे पूछेंगे, और ये पॉइंट्स जो आपने बोला है मैडम, उसको हम जरूर इंक्लूड करेंगे व्हाइट पेपर में। Our next
Thank
speaker,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, is Shri Pramod Chandorkar. He is the owner of Sound Ideas Academy. Pramod is an experienced studio owner with a demonstrated history of working in the motion picture and film industry. He's skilled. He's a very, very skilled person. And he has a fantastic premium audio infrastructure in Mumbai. And he has trained more than 200 audio professionals from his institute, Sound Ideas Academy. Pramod, if you can take about 5 minutes, my friend, thank you for your patience. If you can take about 5 minutes and tell us how the entertainment and film tourism industry can be given further impetus. Pramod, are you there?
Everyone for inviting me in some gathering and giving me time speak. Here all the lists and very for the expect to the problems in about connection entertainment.
Pramod ji, I'm sorry to disturb. Pramod ji, sorry to disturb you, but your connection seems to be extremely. Your bandwidth, I think we're having a problem with that.
Is my voice not proper?
No. Would you like to switch off your video? Maybe that would help, sir.
Sure, right.
Now it is okay, sir.
Is it okay?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
There's some drop in the connection.
Correct.
Yeah, I was saying that I belong to the service sector in the film business. I'm into post-production service as well as education services. So I speak in two parts: one about education and in a quick thing, and one about the film tourism part. Education, I would like to put it as my partner and Nipaji rightly mentioned that lack of education. So, bottom line, I see that the awareness about this industry is lacking a big way. A lot of people know what are the steps to be done in this business, how to approach, where to approach. Mr. Roy from the ministry ने अभी बताया था कि there are film institutes. He names some 3-4 institutes which are the government institutes. But if you see factly, these institutes have been for a lot of years now. But the amount of people they can churn out, the requirement by film industry, there's a huge gap. So there is very few people who come out of the institutes where they can process them, and the amount of people required in the industry is huge. So that leads up to lot of is coming up in a private way. Now there is no control on the quality of education given to these guys. Like anyone get up and start an institute, there is no requirements per se कि कौन इंस्टीट्यूट सिखाता है, कोई नहीं सिखा सकता है. हमने कई बार देखा मैंने एक फिल्म की है वो कल इंस्टीट्यूट के सिखा रहा है. So there are a lot of things where the quality of outcome of the student matters in a big way. So it's very important that you, rather than developing the infrastructure of institutes, like okay, we'll create studios. Everybody bought with money. The government can, the private investor can put a lot of crores of rupees and buy the infrastructure. And unfortunately, at the end of the infrastructure, they start thinking that who will operate this. So that's a huge gap. And then start thinking, okay, you know what, we will एक साल में 3 का कोई course करवा दो. This is a art. Like every aspect of filming is an art, and it's years of honing to become a filmmaker or a director or to become a cameraman, to become a recordist. And it needs a proper structured education that is miss a big way. So I would request that, we, as we are taking this initiative, proper focus should be given on how education is happening. First, you have to create awareness. You have to give support to people who are create education for people. There has to be a structure. Akala engineering college में कोई भी नहीं खोल सकता है. There is a structure who can open engineering college. It should be also applicable for only when the government look at it seriously, people will start looking at it seriously in the state.
So that's very important that the education should be focused in a proper way. We at Sound Ideas Academy are trying to do that in the last 10 years. Me being a professional also, we started education so that we can quality education, audio related and film related. So we would be keen to see how we can take part into this movement in Gujarat, and we are very glad that that is happening. Second part, I would come to the tourism. I have been to all the panelists. But I feel that everyone is trying to have icing on the cake. Is feel that tourism को बढ़ावा मिलेगा या entertainment, but unfortunately entertainment industry ठीक से खड़ा कैसे किया जाए इस बारे में बहुत कम बातें हो रही है। वो एक से खड़ी नहीं है तो वो दूसरे इंडस्ट्री को कैसे सपोर्ट करेगी? That's a very fundamental question. Especially, I'll tell you, in terms of COVID, the first thing to close is entertainment, and the last thing to open is entertainment. So no one is looking in the between. How are they sustaining? How are the actors sustaining? How are the singers sustaining? The performers sustaining? No one has any clue how they have sustained. So it's very important that this unstructured business of film has to be made structured. People want huge actors to come and put their product, or they want to support their tourism destinations. But how did they become this? There are 25 big production houses or big producers in the country, but there are 2.5 lakh small producers. Unless and until you support these 2.55 lakh small producers to become big producers, you won't have huge tourism unless and until they stand properly. How can support the others? So that's what I'm listening with. Another part I was listening, I heard a lot of foreign films are coming in India and are shooting. Part is how are they showing it? They are showing it in a very poor light. How can you expect after seeing Slug Millionaire to expect a foreigner to come and visit India? वो झोपड़पट्टी देखने में interested नहीं है. Unfortunately, the way it is shown in these forums is not in a very positive light. Where one panelist was making about subsidy everything. For regional films, United Kingdom or South Africa or Mauritius is giving way bigger subsidies for these films to come there and shoot. Our own country them and support. Like if I want to shoot the film in you, I can do everything in city Mumbai, anywhere in India, and it is a very simple process to go and shoot there. I have done so many films that I asked them, why did you shoot in and not in India? They write specific stories to shoot in UK so that they can their whole project sustainable. So when we are talking about entertainment, like you tell about live concerts, it's a big way that tourism can be done. I perform with, I'm the head technical head for Sonu Nigam live in concert. I've traveled all over the world for the last 20 years. So, the way when we vote for a festival in India to perform for live event and the way they invite us in some another country, there is a huge difference. There is a big lack of dignity provided for artists in this country. Only top graded superstars get those dignity. What about the others? It's not about just being on top. It's about being the huge. And until that support is given for them make come up in a proper way, tourism and all the outcome comes happening in a successful industry. But first we have this industry in a proper way. This is my small 2 points which I wanted to make. And again, I thank everyone for inviting me to this. And a great discussion, great movement, and looking forward to some great happening in the industry. Thank you. I can't hear you. Yeah.
I think very well articulated, Pramod. Very, very nicely presented your point. And you're right, without the entertainment industry being sustained, nothing else can happen after that. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to our next speaker, and I'm just going to get the focus back on a little bit of tourism, and I'd request Mahendra Vakharia, who's the MD of Pathfinder Holidays and the immediate past president of the OTOI, to please talk to us. Something interesting about him, he successfully scaled and summited the Mount Kilimanjaro Park, the highest mountain of Africa, in February 2017. Mahendraji, if you can talk to us about tourism and how films can help promote tourism. Mahendra.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Ram. A pleasure to reconnect with you again on a KCCI webinar. And thanks, KCCI, for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to come and share our experience and also learn listening to other panel eminent speakers that have just shared their the angst, their practical problems that they're facing, and how things need to be relooked at. From my point of view, I'll just touch upon briefly due to paucity of time is based on a couple of things. As a company, we are a facilitator for film shoots. You know, we are not into the technical aspect of it, but we bring into the table our strength of the logistical support that a film unit needs, whether it's for a shoot within India, out of India. The last blockbuster that we got an opportunity to be connected was with Prem Ratan Dhan Payo for Rajshri Films. So that is our role as far as film tourism is concerned. But overall, in connection to the subject, and which is a very important subject, which sustainable and responsible tourism or development is very dear to my heart. So I'll break up this topic into two parts. One is the destination marketing. Now, all of the eminent speakers, starting with Mr. Roy, who has indicated, highlighted the importance and the immense power of tourism promotion that can happen due to a film shoot. You know, Bollywood film industry, or let me put it, the Indian film industry, one of the largest film producing industry in the world, you know, and the world is looking up to this industry to create magic. No tourism board in this world will ever at this moment say they do not want an Indian film industry to come, an Indian film to come and shoot there. They know the relevance and they know how important it is, because it's continuously giving them a revenue stream of tourists that come to that destination because the film was shot there and that got popular. There are various incidents. There are so many magical stories created starting in the early 70s by Mr. Late Yash Chopra, where Switzerland became his second home. And, you know, he was as good as a citizen of Switzerland, where Bollywood started getting connected with the locales of Switzerland, with the lush green rolling hills, snow-capped mountains. You'll be surprised there is the Bollywood Trail in Switzerland, which has been designated as a Bollywood Trail, where Indians, even today, when they travel to Switzerland, and those who are film buffs, which every second Indian is, will want to travel there to just reminisce and cherish the memory of a film that they've seen of their famous hero or heroine dancing around, or, you know, a film shoot, and they get to see that location. And that's very clearly indicated earmark. Cut to New Zealand. You know, New Zealand has, you know, there's some blockbuster movies that Avatar, a lot of the Rings and whatnot was shot in New Zealand. What they did, the Hobbiton set that was created there in the North Island near Rotorua, they've retained that set after the film has been shot. That's been years now, but the set is immaculate as it was in the movie, and they're generating revenue out of that even today. Now, that is a very interesting way to not only get footfalls into your destination because the film was shot there and got popular, but an activity that the film used has been retained to create revenue on a regular basis to the local people. Scotland with the Harry Potter, no child today is, not impressed or influenced by the Harry Potter films and the books. You know, if you go London, of course, you have the Harry Potter studio tour, which is very, very popular. But if you go to Scotland, you can definitely get onto the Hogwarts train tour and see, and you can visualize yourself as part of the character in that location. That is the impact of destination marketing. A very simple example I'll give you. I have a couple of very, very dear friends who are very leading line producers of the country. One of the very popular Shah Rukh Khan movie with Kajol was being shot in Bulgaria. And all of a sudden, this friend decided that, okay, there is an opportunity. Why not one sequence of the song, only one sequence of the song out of the whole film was shot in Iceland. The backdrop was a wreckage of a plane, which is still there in Iceland as a tourist spot. People go to see that. Now, that song of Gerua from Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol has become so popular that Iceland has shown increase of almost about 60 to 70% tourist arrivals from India just because of this one popular song that was filmed there. So that's the impact of destination marketing that Indian film industry can create. Now that could be for international or even in, within the Indian locations. There are great opportunities, and there is no denying the fact that it does leave an impact with the mind and the psyche of the viewers. So there is a huge potential for us as stakeholders in the tourism to piggyback ride on the films that are being shot. Sometimes we do get clients walking into the office and asking to visit a place. They do not know which country it is. They do not know which place it is, but they only know that this film or this song was shot there and we want to be there. That's it. So that is the impact as far as the marketing that can, be created with the type of films that popular Bollywood films that are happening in the country. Now, equally important is the sustainable development, and that is the most important element to my mind, and which is more critical. Mr. Roy did mention that, and what is sustainable tourism? If we have to look at sustainable tourism because I'm talking of tourism, I'm saying tourism, but even the film production or film tourism comes under the bigger umbrella of tourism. To my mind, sustainable tourism is any tourism activity that is not providing and ensuring direct financial benefit to local communities from where the tourism money is being generated, or the film tourism money is being generated, is not sustainable tourism. So like I tell you of incidents where, Indian film units earlier used to be 250, 300 units, strong units from India used to go for a foreign location. Cut to present date, you can shoot a technically sound film in international location with 50 to 60 small trimmed unit. Why it is possible? Because the local destinations have understood the importance of films, and they have created a talent pool at the local centers available where the Indian film units can utilize it for their shooting, which means they do not need to carry the equipment, they do not need to carry the technicians all the way from India, pay for the logistics, pay for their expenses, accommodation, meals, etc., 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 and bring them back. More people, foreign people, the more challenge it becomes. The more local people, it becomes much more easier for the producer and the film unit to take control of it. So coming back to the two stalwarts from Gujarat who spoke, Mrs. Aarti Patel and Mrs. Neepa Singh, of the challenges they on the ground on a day-to-day basis are facing. And I believe if Gujarat Tourism, which is very proactive in a lot of things, can consider this, look into this and create a cesspool of talented young technicians. And I'm sure Gujarat has got, I'm friends with so many young Gujarati artists, film producers, musicians, and there is great talent that's coming through. All we need is a umbrella under which it all can be pulled in, and a database created wherein any production unit coming, they know that, okay, if I need a technician, I have the lightmen available. Yes, I have so many lightmen available in Gujarati. I have so many sound technicians. Yes, I have so many sound. So if you have a database of such a pool, and that could be shared with the production unit, and believe you me, it will not only incentivize them to come and film shoot in a state, but at the same time, and more importantly, sustainability for the local population, which is all what we need, is where it will start getting correlated. And that is what is the most critical thing, that maybe Gujarat Tourism or all the other state tourism, wherever it is, it's very good to tell somebody to come and shoot in your state, knowing fully well that you're going to get publicity and revenue out of it. But are you helping the local population or to get a revenue out of it? If that is not the case, that is not fair. A film unit from Mumbai coming with their technicians to shoot in Gujarat and going away, they're getting their revenue, they're getting the locals are not getting. Whereas it can be created. So it's a matter of change of mindset. But if this could be considered, I think then this topic of destination marketing for sustainable development can work brilliantly well. So that is my small take on this. I'm ready for any answers anytime. But thank you for this opportunity once again, and let's hope we all can create synergies together to take this forward in a positive manner. Thank you.
Wonderful, Mahendra Bhai. That was absolutely, smashing. I think both the perspectives really were very, very interesting, and I'm sure that we'll chat about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we move now to the last guest that we have today, who's going to be speaking to us. Amog Varsha is an Indian filmmaker and a wildlife photographer. His video on climate change was showcased in the 2015 United Nations Climate Change Conference. He has come up with a lovely, lovely, lovely film, and if I don't know where it is available, but please see it. It's called Wild Karnataka. Amog, I'd like you to talk to us about how, when you were doing Wild Karnataka, you were supported, and how Wild Karnataka is making a huge impact today on tourism for Karnataka. Amog, go ahead.
Thanks,
Amog,
Ram.
ladies and gentlemen, was my neighbor earlier. Go ahead, Amog.
Nice to connect, Ram. Been a while. Hello to everyone. So I think one of the things I wanted to really speak about was that media becomes the face of our country, nation, state, whatever we want to portray. And predominantly we have worked with government agencies throughout my career. And when you work with government agencies, the kind of access you get and the kind of support you get is unprecedented. And which is why we were able to make a movie like Wild Karnataka, which happens to be the only wildlife film in the world to be shown at the United Nations. And this brings me to the kind of crux of this whole problem that we're talking about, right? Access and permissions and things like that. And because I work with the government, I understand both sides of the coin, right? Because some of these areas are very fragile, they're eco-sensitive, they have kind of a lot of wildlife, they could have a lot of biodiversity and things like that. And we have seen in the past that so far in India, we don't have kind of a checklist of how to do a green production or how to keep the place clean, safe, without any kind of deterrence to wild animals or the biodiversity. So unfortunately, the only way to convince these authorities is to show them your work and that they have to trust you. But my hope is that in the future, if we can have a system where any production, if it matches a given set of criteria and they can be given permits, that will really help. But the second biggest problem with any of these areas which need special access is that the permissions have to come at 8 different levels, starting from the top person all the way to the person who's actually opening the gate. And if one person decides to not let you in, your whole day's shoot or the week shoot goes for a toss. So I think overall, I would say that if we can work closely with government bodies and have some amount of transparency as to what is happening down the chain, because all of us do invest a lot of money into everyday shooting that happens. And money loss for us is obviously a huge loss for the production and to showcase what we want to showcase. So instead of kind of switching to shoot in areas where we don't need permissions or just shooting outside India, I think going forward, if we can have a system where we have enough transparency from the government to say that these are the checklists, if you tick all of these things, we'll allow you permits. But also from our end, how can we make productions more eco-friendly, sustainable, and less damaging to any of the areas that we are shooting? I think both these things can be balanced. And our latest film is just a kind of an example of that when we can work with the government and showcase things, we can kind of achieve a wonderful and unprecedented results. This is what I had to say, Ram. I hope that covers everything.
Absolutely. Amog, that was wonderful. And where can we see Wild Karnataka? Is it on YouTube?
It's right now, it's on Discovery. It's on Discovery Plus.
It's on Discovery.
It's on Discovery. Yeah, it's on Discovery Plus.
But you haven't yet uploaded it on YouTube or?
No, it should be on Discovery Plus. I think the first month is free. Anybody can sign up and watch it.
Okay.
They have all right.
So Discovery Plus, ladies and gentlemen, please go and see Amog Varsha's beautiful film. I think with that, we are through with our speakers for the day. We have Mohit Srivastava, who's now going to be Mohit. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ramkumar. Actually, first of all, I would like to greet all the dignitaries, and it was very good insight and information given by all the speakers and members on this platform. I come from a background which is mostly into the international trade and international business side. And I've worked as an investment venture capitalist and invested in a couple of businesses across different domains. Today, which I realize is that, we require a right ecosystem. It should be a sustainable ecosystem. When I say sustainable ecosystem, it means that we need to have a grassroots engagement of institutions, production houses, all the stakeholders who are driving this industry. Focusing on the Gujarat side, I think we have got a very good infrastructure. In fact, in Gujarat, we have got an IFSC, which is the only IFSC for international investments in the GIFT city. We are looking forward to set up some fund structure which is dedicated to infrastructure, dedicated infrastructure for film production, as well as for investing into certain projects which help us to engage more investment side cross-border and create a cross-border opportunities, as Mr. Vikram said about promoting the destination marketing, destination tourism. I've got one example that I recently had with one of the company. We are tying up from our company, which is a Grace Life Studio. I also represent a Grace Life Studio as a co-founder. We are partnering with one company in New Zealand, and this company is basically into production house. Now, the key areas which I have discovered with them is like, they want precision line production support that they can provide, and which Mr. Mahendra also put light on, that how the line production is important for doing any kind of outdoor shoots, right? There is a destination cross-border exchange that can happen between India and the different countries. There is a huge digital market that is there. We have to have some dedicated infrastructure to support this export potential that we see as a business side. And putting everything in one area, and we see that there can be a huge potential for all the stakeholders in the industry in terms of creating job, in terms of creating projects, in terms of investments. All these things I see, and there is a good value into it. And I was also interacting with Himanshu for one project which we got from a Slovakian partner, where they were very precise in setting up the project in India. They were saying like, we want one location in Ganga Ghat, we want one location in Ladakh, we want one location in the streets of India. So the international players are also very clear about how to take India as a business and how to engage with Indian film industry. Only thing we need to address the problem statements and the points that we have raised by Ms. Aarti and I think and other people, that if we are able to solve those problems and we are able to create an impactful ecosystem, the international players are looking India in a different way, and we have to be globally competitive and creating that environment for them to penetrate in Indian market. I think this is a great opportunity, and we are the right position after the awareness of digital industry post-COVID. And this is the right time for everybody to engage and participate and try to scale and grow in a very collaborative way. That's what I would say, and that's my take. And I think I wish everybody to and look forward for such events coming forward and take this initiative ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mohit Bhai. That was absolutely terrific. I'd just like to get, if Vikramjit is here. Vikramjit, I know this is not really in your bailiwick, but Vikram, would you like to respond to some of the suggestions that were made, Vikramjit, on how how we can move on that? Vikramjit, please.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I was listening to the discussion because I felt that there's a lot of learning, because at the end of the day, at the crux of it is ease of filming. So let me look at it in two ways. One, international films coming into India offers a huge chance for collaboration, either big or small. The Europeans who come into India are primarily the art house, more niche kind of pictures. The US studios that come in here are the larger pictures. The larger, more budget, more scale, etc. There's a great opportunity for tie-ins. How can these opportunities be? These opportunities can come in terms of production services. So you could be a line producer, you could be an equipment supplier, you could be providing talent, you could be providing various other services that these production units that come from abroad require. How does one connect with that? One can visit our website. One can continuously go to various industry fora. I would certainly request people who are from the production services who wish to sell their services to international filmmakers to travel abroad, to the location show, which happens in December in London. That's a good place to go to. to interact with various representatives and studio owners, but do your homework. Do a lot of homework as to who these people are. And that's how line producers have come in and now they've become producers and so on and so forth. As far as the Indian productions, which primarily what our industry terminology is runaway productions, who typically want to go abroad to film because they think India is, there's a lot of problems in India, there's a lot of teething problems in India. Yes, there is a history to it. Certainly, there's a baggage of, thought where that, India is a difficult place to shoot. But I think post 2016, we have seen, and I can say with a lot of validation that that has changed. The Film Facilitation Office is here. It is the Government of India, Ministry of Information Broadcasting Unit, which has been set up in NFDC. Our website is ffo.gov.in. We are extremely happy to connect with any filmmaker who wishes to film in India and is having a problem. I can assure you that with nodal officers in 36 states who have been appointed by the state governments, there's a lot of proactiveness. See, I really believe that post 2015, there's a new narrative in this country, and that narrative is to do things the right way, to make things easy. I'm not saying that we're 100% proof, and I can tell you, okay, the last mile connect will certainly work. But I can certainly assure you that today's ecosystem in India is such that there is proactiveness. And we have found a lot of challenges that have come in either from domestic producers or from international producers shooting in India, which have been solved through collaboration. I would urge the filmmakers to plan. I would urge filmmakers to plan much in advance. They can come to the FFO, we can connect them with the state. There will be teething problems, and I think this is a fantastic, I would say, forum that has enabled discussions between central stakeholders, state stakeholders, and filmmakers. I think more such regular meets could be one-on-ones, need not be forums such as this, but I would urge the KCCI to make smaller committees who can regularly meet up with the state department, do workshops, do a lot of workshops with filmmakers and various stakeholders in Gujarat. Khyati Naik has come to a lot of our workshops. She's a very, very capable officer, extremely proactive, and I'm sure that she will then take this forward. We are happy to do workshops with you. We are happy to sit and listen to what kind of problems that you may have. As I said, it's not going to be press of a button. It has taken us, we set up our website in 2018. We started in 2016 of January. There was a lot of learning that went into it. So, sir, I would leave that at your doorstep, saying that very happy to help, very happy to kind of guide filmmakers and let there be collaborations. Yes, there is a lot of baggage, and that baggage does breed negativity. But I think there's a new narrative post 2014, 2015, and that narrative should be taken in the right spirit.
I I think I completely agree with you, Vikram. My experience in the film business is, of course, very, very limited, but I do agree with you that this new narrative that is happening in India today is leading to a lot of openness, a lot of transparency, a lot of dialogue. You're right. Maybe we can't get all the solutions we want, but I think that is there. I have one more question for you, Vikramji. We also have some very, very interesting people from the tourism sector today, the tour operators. How can they engage with you? Because, they are again at the front line when it comes to people like me wanting to travel, saying that, hey, where can I go? And, what destination can I go and things like that. Is there any way that they can engage with you, people like Mahendra Bhai or, Pranabji, all of these people? How can they engage with you?
Okay. I think, sir, before I take this question, I want to give you an example of a Tamil film called Sururai Potru, which is on Amazon now, shot by Surya. He is the hero. It's a takeoff on the life of Captain Gopinath. They had an issue with the Indian Air Force where they wanted a certain permission. And they came to us and said, could you help us? And we facilitated that. I am saying if there is planning, there's another film which came from the Northeast, and they wanted to shoot right up north. So it was many a dialogue that has happened between the nodal officer of that particular state and the filmmakers, and they wanted to shoot in a zone which was considered to be a buffer zone in a forest area. They could not shoot in the buffer zone, but they were certainly given another place to shoot. So solutions are there. It's just that because of our ecosystem of moving things on file, of course, now everything is getting digital. It takes time. That time has to be built in. Otherwise, every solution is found, including Chris Nolan filming in a helicopter. And that's another story and another thing. To come back to your question, sir, I find that tour operators, this is a very tricky question, you know, because my fascination for travel has always been there, and I've had a lot of who are friend tour operators who come and said, how do we collaborate? I think it's very important for tour operators to kind of, first of all, liaise with the state tourism bodies. A lot of the state tourism bodies, I can tell you, I have one statistic here to share with you. These so-called film cells are housed in tourism departments. And besides being housed in, information and PR, they're also housed in tourism cells. Tour operators, in my mind, should connect with the state tourism bodies, understand through the government ecosystem or the government apparatus where a lot of films are happening, where a lot of the film locations, or be it in Gujarat context, Gujarati film, Bollywood, Hollywood, where are they shooting? And then devise a plan accordingly, maybe through the state apparatus, that is the state tourism body or the state film cell, connect back with the producer, connect back with the producer and work out a deal. For example, I give you two live case studies. Do I have the time to give you two live case studies?
Go ahead, Vikramjit. We do.
Okay.
Because
The
this
first is
interesting, I think, for all of us.
First is the Da Vinci Code. I was head of marketing at that time at Sony Pictures when Da Vinci Code got launched in India. We worked with the tour operators. I think it was at that time one of the bigger multinational brands, who had worked with the studio, saying that wherever Tom Cruise went, wherever Tom Hanks went, we'll have a trail. So we'll begin in London, then go to Paris, then blah, blah, blah. And they had a proper trail, which would right from the beginning to the end and end in Louvre, where the last shot of the film is. We did the same package deal with a couple of local tour operators. We selected 4 tour operators, one in the north, east, west, and south. And we told the tour operators that you use the film apparatus, you use the film posters, etc., to create your own tour packages. So I think that bit of integration has to happen, and that's a lot of hard work. For example, if the tour operators were to connect with, say, the state body of Gujarat, in this case, Ms. Khyati Nayak, and Khyati, I know, has industry relationships with the Producers Guild. So hypothetically, they can connect with the Producers Guild to find out where all the big shootings are happening in Gujarat, look at a particular project, look at a particular tour program where the person who comes to Gujarat can also follow this particular trail. It just needs a hard work and planning in advance. I would urge the state governments, and this was a suggestion that we made to Delhi a couple of years back when a Danish film came and shot here. So say there's again in Gujarat, because we're all located, because this KCCI is in Gujarat and there's Khyati here. What prevents the state from actually planning an integration at a script level, signing an MOU with the producer, saying, I will give you 7 days, I'll give you clearances in 2 days. I will give you subsidies that you can't even dream of. What will you give the state in return? You will be duty bound, the producer should be duty bound, that to reciprocate and say, look, I will create a special package for you. I will create special marketing materials for you. I will create a special trailer for you. My website, my Facebook page, my Twitter handle, my YouTube, wherever I launch the promo of a film, I will also launch the promo of the state integrated into the film. I think we've got to take this to the next level. And this means more conversations, and this can only happen if, and I know Kathy has done this with one of the Vidya Balan films, which she presented to us in our workshop. So it's been happening, but this needs to be in a more controlled and a much more serious conversations have to evolve. And I think chambers like KCCI and others can certainly play a role in this. We are very happy to facilitate in this. It will come out of a lot of brainstorming, you know.
Fantastic. After a long time, I must compliment you, Vikramjit. After a long time, I'm meeting you after so many years.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
more importantly, I think I'm hearing so much of clarity, so much of transparency, and so much of openness, and I'm really grateful
Thank
to
you.
you for that.
Thank you. And we're very happy for ideas. Very happy for ideas.
Sure. I will reach out to you separately through Nakul, Vikramjit.
Sure, sir. Please.
Connect with you.
Sir, I also have a question if I can just put through.
Please, who's this?
Yeah, this is Purvi, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Purvi.
Yeah, sir, I had a suggestion, like for example, if Indian cultural integration can also be part of this kind of film destination marketing. So this could also, like for example, if in any state you are, for example, a producer is producing the film, then whatever the traditions and everything is in the integral part of the state, that could be taken forward. And this could also, I mean, invite many international collaboration also to our country to understand what is the culture and tradition of all parts of India, because a lot of research has also been done on that. So if we can also, I mean, include that perspective also.
Sure, ma'am. Sir, may I make a point?
Please go ahead.
For example, if there is a Bengali film, say, that comes to shoot in Gujarat, what prevents the Gujarat tourism body saying, look, we will give you the reddest carpet that you can think of. But when you go back to Bengal, you ensure that on the day your film is premiered, you serve Gujarati food. You make a special counter for Gujarat. You create these kind of back-end integrations or front-end integrations where there is consumer interaction, audience interaction. And I think there the flavor of the culture can beautifully come in. I mean, let's look at Pan Nalin's film, The Last Film Show. It is shot in Gujarat. It's a very Gujarati story. It's a beautiful story. It is now being celebrated in Tribeca. In the Tribeca International Film Festival, it was rated very highly. It has now got a US, Samuel Goldwyn Mayer, who is a big sales agent, has picked up on this project. I am saying, what prevents the state of Gujarat to actually integrate with the Last Film Show and create their own film show? We are mere facilitators. Trust me, sir, if I had the marketing budget, I would love to sit with these international filmmakers and our domestic filmmakers saying, okay, we will do this for you. We will facilitate it for you. How are you going to promote India? So, it means to take that marketing thing at another level and saying, look, integration, truly integration, not stopping at subsidies and easing of films and subsidies and incentives, I think, are hygiene factors. We shouldn't even talk about it. We should take it for granted. I think as a responsible film commission equivalent, moment somebody a filmmaker comes into my office, I think he should take it for granted that I will deliver to him top-notch quality service.
Fantastic. I think what I really love about today, Nakul, and this is back to you now. What I really love about today and the discussions that we've had is I think we have taken the narrative to a completely higher level. And I'm absolutely delighted that, I was given the opportunity to participate here. I think we've completely run out of time, but I think that really speaks volumes about the three types of people who are here: the filmmaking fraternity, the tourism fraternity, and more importantly, the FFO office represented by Vikramjit Roy. I'm very, very happy that we've taken the narrative to a higher level, saying, look, let's not quibble about the small details. They are there. We need to sort it out. But I think more importantly, to take these ideas that you've thrown up today, Vikramjit, are mind-boggling. I mean, I never really thought about why can't you have a Gujarati dinner in Calcutta when the film is being released. I mean, what a beautiful, what an interesting way to showcase an entire culture of a state and then bring it into sharp focus. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience. You've been a very patient audience, and I hand it back to Nakul. Nakul, my request to you is that the KCCI should, I think, publish a white paper with all the suggestions that have been made by Aarti ji, by Nipa ji, by Himanshu, by Amit. I think they're very valid suggestions. We need to take them and we need to take it to the government and present it to them, saying that, these are certain ground level realities that we have. Also, I think the wonderful suggestions that have been made by the entire tourism industry today, I think there are also some things that we need to capture and we need to take it together. My suggestion to you, and of course, the amazing thing that both Khyati and Vikramjit presented to us, stunning. I'm really stunned. Nakul, my request to you is that, when you're presenting the white paper on behalf of KCCI and sending it to Vikramjit sir and also to the government of Gujarat, to the tourism department, please involve all these stakeholders in the final report so that we can capture the sentiments properly with suggestions on how we can find solutions to that.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir.
Right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, Jai Hind. And
thank you, sir.
This is handing it back to you, Nakul. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ram sir, for moderating a beautiful session. First of all, thank you very much, Sri Vikramjit Roy sir, for his presence, for sparing his valuable time. Sri Raju Mehra sir, Sri Khyati ma'am, and all our supporters and all our speakers. Our supporters, Aito, Grace Live Studio, Audio2 Exhibitions, Purvi, thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you. Ms. Aarti Patel, Sri Amit Yadav ji, Nipa ma'am, Mahendra ji, Pramod ji, Mohit ji, thank you very much. Himanshu ji, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. God bless. Thank you.